260, Viking Ruler 270, Pure Theatre 290, Classic Cut 36, Ebony Knight 740 and Silver Ghost at 43. 331,000 in the pool there with only a field of 6. So that's a very Pat Payne ride. Viking Ruler 240, Pure Theatre 310. 40.
Amy Vars, Houston off out reasonably. Classic Cut jumped well. Silver Ghost ridden for pace today. Ebony Knight got away well, and Viking Ruler will settle back along the inside in company with Pure Theatre, who's now booting through along the rails. But Silver Ghost is taking up, slowing the tempo of Classic Cut by 1.5 to Ebony Knight. Silver Ghost the rail. Pure Theatre on the outside, and then Viking Ruler and Houston off pulling out to make his run. Up the side near the 600, Classic Cut by almost a length. Ebony Knight second from Pure Theatre. Silver Ghost feels the pinch, and Viking Ruler and Houston off make runs together. Classic Cut came to the 400 and nick to Ebony Knight. Pure Theatre, Viking Ruler 4 out, and Houston off 5 out. This is a race coming around the turn now, and Viking Ruler comes quickly and he takes over the running at the bend. Houston off is challenging him as they corner. Then came Ebony Knight and Pure Theatre. It's Viking Ruler in front. Houston off is coming after him. The son of Let's Elope raced up to Viking Ruler. It's Houston off taking the lead. Viking Ruler kicks back. Houston off a narrow leader. Viking Ruler kicking strongly, but Houston off too strong. Houston off a great derby trial beat Viking Ruler. Pure Theatre 3 lengths away third. Then came Ebony Knight, followed in by Classic Cut and a long last Silver Ghost.
He might have relaxed the best in that race, Houston off, and it was a great derby trial, as Greg said.
I mean, just along the side here at the 1600s, he wouldn't even get on the bit. He's so relaxed.
No, it's very easy to ride. Like most of these 3-year-olds, you've got to be a bit concerned they're going to come out and relax or not. This horse he's hardly off the bit. You could ride him a bit of cotton.
Yeah, and what about when you breathe on it?
But that was a wonderful derby trial. Yeah, you couldn't expect any more than that. It was a good result. He trained on very well. It looks as though a mile and a half would be right distance for him. Yeah. Had a bit of a thought about.
I'm certain that Damien Oliver will now be on a Malpe. What a great race it's shaping up to be. Al, we've got a great...
Okay, Houston off there, an American-bred son of the champion mare, Let's Elope. And that will be an exciting Amy Victoria Derby rematch, won't it, with Viking Ruler. Lenny Beasley saying that Viking Ruler will be better suited at Flemington. 2 great 3-year-olds here. The Amy boss, Brian Keane, was beaming after this, and he had more reason with the bonus of Viscount running so well in the Cox Plate. So everything is set up for one of the most exciting derbies for years as well at Flemington next Saturday.
Yeah, the Amy... Coming into this preparation, he looked good in the parade, but he had very good winter form. Sometimes they don't bring the winter form through to the spring and the summer. So if he can run well today, that'll make lie of what I've just said. But I've been a little bit disappointed with his 2 runs.
Checking page 3.
Now, and getting away okay, Dan Defy. Mrs. Bentley jumped fast and Figure away quickly. La Bella Dama wider out is going for the lead, and Super Sequel shows great dash from an outside barrier, and Spice Dollars up there too. Great speed in this race. In the run to the toe, and last year's winner Oregon Seal is last when they negotiate the turn at the 800, and Super Sequel by 2 lengths. La Bella Dama is second. Figure is a length and a half away third. Humaline Red Sleeves on the inside, being followed then by Andrella Spice Doll. Its Platonic is taking shortcuts along the rail, being followed by Hula Wonder, and then Regal Touch, Mrs. Bentley. Coming up the side, well back still is Sorrento with Nova Claus. Dan Defy is a long way back. She's amongst the last few. Oregon Seal is still last. La Bella Dama pounced on Super Sequel coming around the turn. Its Platonic is weaving into it now, getting off the rails and coming. These 2 kick away where La Bella Dama leads. Its Platonic sees daylight. Here she comes. It's Platonic after La Bella Dama and Super Sequel. La Bella Dama still in front. She's drifting out a little. It's Platonic is lifting late. La Bella Dama and It's Platonic. They hit the line. La Bella Dama, one of the nose to It's Platonic, I'd say. Oregon Seals come from last and grab third from Super Sequel. Regal Touch, Spice Doll, Sorrento. Dan Defy never came into the race from Nova Claus. And
$50. The trifecta, $3,297 for those who are good enough to...
It was a winner because Gouts was able to keep the mare going. She looked to be collared for sure by It's Platonic on the outside. Greg Childs had got a rails run, moved It's Platonic out at the right time to challenge, but it was a gutsy performance by La Bella Dama, and her trainer Graham Rogerson has done a marvellous job.
I thought that was a...
Main gauge, 87 for Magneto. Yippee-I-O, no. Yes, $8, Yippee-I-O. Scratch all long odds here, bar Rain Gauge, who's at $5.30. 670 Big Pat, Rain Gauge 560, and a couple of scratchings over the page. Updating Doomben before
came Magneto. Break of more than 2 lengths further back. Spirit of Westbury a half to Rum, a length and a half to Yippee-Yi-Yo. They're trailed then by Rain Gauge, who's moving up 3 deep on the outside of Padfoot Charlie and Big Hustler. And then came Destin to go, led by a half-length Prolific. A length and a half to Ills, and Native Jazz with the run of the race, followed by Magneto. Matriculate the inside, and then Frenzel Rom. Rum's off 3 or 4 wide to make some ground now from Spirit of Westbury. 2 lengths further back in the field then Yippee-Yi-Yo, Big Hustler, and Rain Gauge out wide from Padfoot Charlie, Desktop Lover and Big Pat. Magneto's made a dash, and he's gone up on the outside and taken the lead. 700 to go. Spirit of Westbury comes after him. Rum very wide, and Native Jazz is still there. Hasn't been asked for the big run. He's urged along now. Rain Gauge pulls out wide, and Big Pat has made up ground, and then Desktop Lover. It's Magneto coming around the turn in front of Spirit of Westbury, Rum, and then Native Jazz on the inside battling away, and next is Rain Gauge from Matriculate, cornering Spirit of Westbury's raced up to Magneto. Rain Gauge is coming with a big run down the outside. Spirit of Westbury grabbed by Rain Gauge, 100 out. Rain Gauge for Charles, racing clear from Spirit of Westbury. Big Pat making ground, but Rain Gauge races away to win the cup. Spirit of Westbury second, Big Pat from last grabbed third. Yippee-Yi-Yo came with him, and Rum battled away on the inside. Then came Matriculate, Native Jazz battled home, followed by Magneto, and then came Padfoot Charlie, Frenzel.
Leopold, George Hanlon, master trainer of stayers. He prepares this 4-year-old son of Ken Vane out of town at Leopold down Geelong Way, and Rain Gauge virtually circled the field from second last in the middle stages. And what, Larry, you're listening?
Greg from the wide barrier, really. Favourite of Moonee Valley?
Yes, I'm tickled pink the way he won. He always goes well at the Valley. That's why I was keen to run him.
Only got 49 kilos in the Melbourne Cup, George. Is that where you're hoping to get?
Well, he was in it. I never ever dreamt I'd be running it. The owner put him in. I wanted.
And if they ran the Melbourne Cup at Moonee Valley, I think Rain Gauge would probably win it. He's got a great record there. A couple of other runs in the race, Kenny. Native Jazz, pretty disappointing.
Yeah, he was beaten a long way out, and it's got to be a worry when a horse has had an interruption to a Cup's preparation. And with you, look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 horses going past him there. You know, is he going to win in Flemington on the first Tuesday? And that's only 9 days' time. You know, to be a sensation. Yeah, to be a big form reversal. George's horse is only 2 days' race.
In the run, Cox Plate contenders Universal Prince and Silvano have thrown down the gauntlet to champion mare Sunline with brilliant track gallops this morning. Universal Prince stole the show at Moonee Valley's Breakfast with the Best with what many believe was a winning gallop.
Girl the cheer at track gallops, but when the Queen's in court, things are a little different. The work was good.
Spot on for the Cox Plate again.
But the spotlight had already been stolen. First on the track was the Melbourne Cup favourite Universal Prince. Hardened observers doubted they'd seen better work at Moonee Valley. The Cox Plate was given a new dimension.
I don't know, my horses there said that.
I don't think it's a 2-horse race by any means. And given us a day like today and the track like this morning, I think it'll be very interesting.
It caught
some of the last couple of years.
Then came news from Sandown, where Silvano thrashed Persian Punch by 10 lengths in a track gallop. One experienced watcher describing it as acceleration never before seen from an import.
A field of a simple, are you a believer? Can Sunline do what most thought impossible and equal the feats of the great Kingston Town, winning 3 Cox Plates in succession? As the mighty mare walks into Barrier 8 at the top of the Moonee Valley Straight at about 3:30 tomorrow afternoon, a hush will come over this famous amphitheatre, for her task is not a simple one. Genuine champions await. In fact, the best field she's faced so far in the Weight for Age Championship of Australasia. So many questions as we look ahead to the 2001 Carlton Draft Cox Plate. And Matty, it promises to be a day long remembered.
It will be. I don't remember a race in my lifetime. I can honestly say this, where there's been any greater anticipation in the weeks and the week leading up to it. There's so many questions, as you say. We're all believers. We all believe she's one of the greatest mares of all time. But as you also said, the greatest field she's ever contested.
And bookmaker Alan, to pause and look back at the legendary feats of this great front-running mare in the past 2 Cox Plates.
the Knot from Testarossa. Sunline with a mighty lead, though. She's 4 in front. Tie the Knot gets to second from Sky Heights, and then Testarossa. Sunline clear. Tie the Knot starting to make late ground. Is rallying, but Sunline will hold on and win all the way. Sunline beat Tie the Knot by 2. Sky Heights third. Making ground on her. She's away, Sunline. She leads by 4 lengths. The champion New Zealand mare has raced away in the Cox Plate. Diatribe and Referral are running onto the placings, followed by Testarossa and then Scusi Please. But the champion mare is going to kill them. She's 5 in front, Sunline, and a piece of racing history. Back-to-back Cox Plates for the champion mare, Sunline. She's won it by 6 lengths easily. Photo the Miners, Diatribe or Referral.
Absolutely, in another very difficult field. I've got Sunline, I've got her at $2.50, an imposing record at Moonee Valley, and I think it's a horse to beat. Northerly, he's at $3. Damien Oliver on board, he's been in sensational form. Universal Prince is at $5. Hopefully it doesn't get too far back in this run. Silvano at $6. We'll see how it's travelled and how good it is tomorrow. Viscount.
Certainly confidence from Fred Kersley and Damien Silvano is the first of the Germans. It's impossible to line him up, but we do have 2 key videos, one from Chicago and one from Hong Kong, and just see if this impresses you.
They're in the stretch of the million. A furlong and a half to go. And Andreas Saborix sends the German bred Silvano to the front. Half is 3 lengths behind. Predatory third. Gaetano fourth. And then forward back is Bulutan and Whiteheart. But it is Silvano. Silvano, the German bred, going on for glory in the million under Andreas Saborix, winning by 3. Top of the stretch by 2. Idle tries hard. Silvano or Edel Express come on. Further back, Indigenous. Jim and Tonic's giving them a big start at the 250-metre mark. Dadiapur joined by Silvano. Oriental Express and Jim and Tonic unleashing a big run. He's coming again late. It might be too late. Silvano for Subrix has got a break. He's 2 lengths clear. Jim and Tonic trying hard. Indigenous third. Silvano wins the QE2 by 2 lengths.
Matty, are you impressed?
Yeah, very impressive. The footage we haven't sight unseen, it'll probably haunt me, but I'm leaving him out of the top 3. I'm going with the local champions, Universal Prince, the up-and-comer, to swamp them. I'm hoping they'll go at a reasonable bat to run over the top of the great mare Sunline for 3rd, the mighty Northerly.
Alan?
Jared, I'm going to speak through my pocket. I'm going to leave Sunline out. I'm going with Northerly to beat Universal Prince, and I'm going to put Silvano in for 3rd.
So you've left her out of the place?
I have indeed.
Oh, I think you're outrageously wrong. I think she will win and claim those 3 Cox Plates in a row. I think she'll beat Northerly by a lip, with Universal Prince to run one of the best.
Well, at Rose Hill, we'll go to Ian in a moment. Moonee Valley race 7, Cox Plate. Northerly and Sunline joint top raters. Silvano gets a 97 on the strength of some marvellous form overseas, and Universal Princip in the last 2 or 3 strides. Here's an update on the Cox Plate. Northerly 350. Silvano 550. Caetano 49. Referral $51, King Keitel $38, Universal Prince $5. Now Sunline hasn't budged off that mark, $2.80, and $10 for Viscount with 2.4 million in the win pool.
Guess what has been happening 10 minutes ago? In fact, at one stage, some of the bookmakers had Northerly and Sunline equal favourites. The last 5 or 10 minutes, the money started coming for Sunline. It has kept coming. So the punters, they have made Sunline the outright favourite. It wasn't looking like that for a while. Moves up. Sunline the outright favourite. It wasn't looking like that for a while. Moves up. The hat-trick on. They're set. Racing. Sunline jumped well. Caetano missed it. Silvano got out very fast. Viscount shows pace. Sunline's heading over pretty comfortably through the first part of the race. Universal Prince settling at the tail. Here's the first turn coming up, and it's Sunline 3/4 in front of Viscount, and she crossed him with ease. Northerly moved up 3rd the outside, followed by Silvano. In behind them, Referral, 3 lengths King Keitel, then Caetano and 2 lengths to Universal Prince. Sunline controlled it through the first part. Out to the 1500, she's over 2 lengths in front. Viscount 2nd, Northerly 3rd. Referral 4th, the inside, a length and a half to Silvano midfield, trailed by Caetano and King Keitel, and 2 lengths to Universal Universal Prince. Sunline has had it easy out towards the turn at the 1200, and she leads by 2 lengths. The 3-year-old Viscount is second. Northerly is third. Referral tucked away fourth on the inside, trailed by Silvano. A length and a half to Caetano, and then King Keitel, and 2 lengths to Universal Prince. As they race down the back, he's about 10 from the leader, and Sunlight out in front, 1,000 to go. Viscount second. Northerly 3 lengths away, third. Referral fourth the inside, and then Silvano. King Keitel and Caetano are together next, and last is Universal Prince. They make the turn at the 800, and Sunline comes up the side by a length and a half to Viscount, and Northerly is easing out wide so he can have a clear run to come with his effort now, and then Silvano running up near the inside, and Universal Prince is hooked out at the 600 metres. Sunline in front, she's 3 quarters in front of Viscount. In third placing Northerly. Silvano's taking the shortcuts. Universal Prince is winding up. Charles hasn't asked for the big run yet. They're coming for home. Sunline about to straighten up for history, led by 2 lengths. Silvano's chasing through on the inside, and then Viscount and Northerly and Universal Prince. It's Sunline around the turn in front. She's 2 lengths clear. Northerly's coming down the outside. Sunline in front of Northerly and Viscount. Sunline tackled by Northerly. Northerly's raced up to Sunline. Viscount in the middle. There's trouble on the line, but the West roars as Northerly has won it from Sunline and Viscount, who got flattened near the line. Next in King Keitel. Silvano couldn't go on, nor could Universal Prince. Then Caetano, and Referral is last. A dramatic...
What a thriller. 1, 7 and 8. The West Australian champion, ridden by the West Australian...
Nobody wanted him as a yearling. He is now the Cox Plate winner in one of the best fields we have ever seen at Moonee Valley.
Yes, I don't think that leaves any doubt in anyone's mind. He's a great horse. He did a great job.
We're right. What were you, when you saw Sunline go out, did you think he was going to be able to make up that ground?
I thought he travelled good. I thought he was in the race with a chance. I was worried when she crossed so easily. I didn't think she could. When Silvano got an inside run, I was worried, but his heart was there.
It always looks like he's just not going to make it, and then as Cherie said, he hits the go button.
He's the master of understatement.
Well done. Would you describe this as the...
Now here's the head-on. Look, as we see them here, that's Northerly out 3 deep. The widest horse in the black and yellow. Watch him come in as he hangs in. Oliver hits him with the whip in the inside hand. Now watch here, there's definitely tightening the Viscount between them. Sunline comes out a little bit, I must admit that. She contributed to it. But I'll say this, Viscount's the horse that caught the problem. But I also will say, I don't think it made any difference to the result. I think Northerly was clearly...
I think she comes out. I think McAvoy's got grounds of protest. He comes out. I think McAvoy's got grounds of protest against first and second here, and I think he's a big chance of getting third against second uphold.
That's right. So watch if Karen McAvoy decides to protest. Watch them from behind here. McAvoy on Viscount's in the Cerise. The first move in was from Northerly, then Sunline come out. He certainly got tightened. I've got to say, though, I think if the interference hadn't occurred, the placings would have remained the same. Damien Oliver is now with Simon Marshall.
Thank you very much, Kenny, and a very happy Damien Oliver. What a terrific finish, brother.
Yeah, mate, it was a great Cox Plate. It was pictures of the field there when we just beat Sunline, and oh mate, it was such an exciting finish.
What about the tight finish, Dame? You had the 3-year-old Viscount back inside her. It looked like you crowded him a little bit. What was your feeling?
Yeah, it got a bit crowded there at the end. I felt Sunline really come out under pressure the last 50 metres. Yeah. My horse went to get in, but I stopped riding him, straightened him up, and I think he deserves to win it, mate.
When were you confident?
When I went past the post in front.
The Sandgraper.
There was a mixed reception for Damien Oliver when he came back on Northerly. They just desperately are still hoping that there's some chance for this mare to get into the finish of the race. Here's the announcement coming through. It's third, first and second, 150 to the winning post. So it's third, but second against first. Alleging interference, 100 to the winning post. Okay, thank you. So there it is. We've got 3 protests on the Cox Plate then. It's third against first and second from the 150 to the winning post, and that last protest there.
And I felt that when we have come together that it turned my horse's hindquarters it brushed my hindquarters and turned my horse in. I did stop riding my horse and straighten the horse. And at the very same time, I felt that Sunline also shifted out. And it's unfortunate for Kerrin, but he's been tightened for room there. But in my view, this happened far too close to the winning post, and the margin being 3/4 of a length from where Kerrin's has been beating, that it's too great for this to be reversed, and I felt that my...
I'll make a submission on behalf of Sunline. Sunline's interference happened due to the only... I had to correct Sunline due to the fact that Northerly was getting in onto Viscount, who then in turn got onto my horse's hindquarters and turned my horse's rear in and its front head portion out. And that was because of Northerly getting in. If you observe Damien Oliver's using the stick on Northerly in the left hand, and that's obviously for a reason. The horse is laying in, and I don't believe Damien stopped at any stage to correct his mount until after the damage had already been done.
Yes. I mean, I always carry the whip in the left hand on this horse. Which hand I carry the whip in is irrelevant.
Yes. Well, did you stop riding your mount?
I stopped riding to ride it. I stopped riding to ride hands and heels. Yeah, because you shifted out onto me. You carried Viscount onto me.
And that's because you got in on to Viscount.
Well, just as much as you got out onto me.
Mr. Hawkes, any questions?
I'd just like to put my own point of view across. They're two separate incidences. If you watch on the film, from the turn to the winning post, Viscount has not deviated one iota. In reference to Sunline has continued to drift out, and at one point in time has shifted really sharply, which in turn, all that particular time, has been worrying my horse at getting near the post when the pressure is the greatest. Childs was entitled to stop riding his horse, which he didn't, into mine, which unbalanced mine, which in turn, in my opinion, definitely, should have finished in front of Sunline. Relating to Oliver, he stated that, he never stopped. In my opinion, he continued to ride that horse all the way to the line. He kept laying in on top of our horse even before he even made our horse check, which in turn pushed it on the Sunline. He might have sat up the last bit, but the damage is done at the 100 metres where our horse was not entitled to deviate one iota. Oliver was entitled to stop riding his horse before he got past Viscount, because in that turn he was pushing us onto Sunline, and both riders are both at fault, and I think we're entitled to get the race.
Mr. McKee, any questions?
So, whatever's been written in the past about Northerly laying in races is irrelevant in this situation. I'm firmly of the view that shortly after ending the straight that Sunline moved out maybe one horse. On the film it most clearly shows, and I'll be happy to run it through again, that Viscount's reined toward Northerly by the rider. There was space between Northerly and Viscount. He's clearly reined to get away from Sunline into Northerly. I'm of the view that normally kept a straighter course in the straight than any of the other three runners. The other point I'll make to you is that turning for home, Sunline was 3 lengths clear of Northerly. Viscount a length or more clear of Northerly. Northerly came from behind them, beat them comfortably, and on the grounds of the protest by all riders, I can't see any reason to overturn the result.
As I said, the margin between the horses was 3/4 of a length by a long head. If you're all the way outside,
I'd like to...
Mr. Ringham,
I see what sort of a judge I am. I think that Northerly will retain the race, but I think Viscount will get second.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I think definitely second against first dismissed without a doubt. Yeah. Third against first dismissed without a doubt. Third against second is 6-4 on.
I think it'll be uphill.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Just before you speak, Simon, there, of course, with
shifting out, approaching the 100 metres, and made contact with Northerly, which was shifting in. Northerly and Sunline then shifted further and contributed to Viscount being hampered. And whilst interference did occur, the stewards can't be satisfied that the result of the race was affected in respect of the protest Viscount against Northerly. With the objection against Sunline by Viscount, The stewards believe that Northerly, by shifting in, did make a significant contribution to that interference, and therefore all objections are therefore dismissed and the placings stand. Thank you. And we'll see all your riders before you move.
To TCN.
Sure, McAvoy had the protest, but I reckon justice was done, don't you?
I do, Kenny. I think it's great for racing. I think it's added to the atmosphere of Cox Plate, the ooh and the ahs, prior to the decision.
Pretty calm despite the pressure.
Paying $3.30 and $1.30 to win. Sunline ran second at $1.30, Viscount third at $2.20. Sunline is
38,000 plus went to Moonee Valley yesterday for the 80th running of the Cox Plate. It was a clash of the heavyweights and it turned into really a prize fight. It had everything, including a disputed decision. I've never heard so much noise, Brett, before the race for the supporters of the different camps. There were cheers, there were jeers, there were boos, and it continued after the race with the dispute, didn't it?
It was a bit like a footy match, wasn't it?
It was.
Taking sides.
Yeah, but the bottom line, boys and Joe, is that we have a new title holder, and it's Northerly. What a champ, Fred.
Yeah, certainly is. He's turning into a great racehorse. He's got all the attributes you admire. You know, he's got all the courage in the world. He digs very deep when he has to, and he's got a very nice habit of finding the line first in Group 1s.
And the win, the emotion of the win by Northerly, reduced his champion jockey Damien Oliver's to tears to such an extent that he could not complete an interview.
Well, I wasn't aware of that. Of course, there's a few things happening immediately after the race, but certainly Damien was quite emotional about it, and it is a very emotional day, I think, for West Australians to have a horse such as Northerly get up in a race as great as the Cox Plate.
The point you stressed that Northerly had come from behind the other two horses, but something I don't think anyone else thought when you said that the jockey on Viscount actually pulled the offside rein and rode into Northerly a fraction in the straight. And I think that put another perspective on it a little. Northerly, even though he did hang in, if you watch where he holds his place on the ground from here in, the fact that Damien's riding him on the one rein makes you think that he's hanging in more than he is. You get that perception. But you watch where he actually holds his position from here. He seems to go straight. And definitely from this point on, it's Sunline on the inside that comes out on the other two horses.
Katie, I think you're right. I think it's a good observation, but Karen, in fact, got it wrong in the steward's room when he claimed that Northerly had tightened him initially, because the tightening came from the inside, moved Viscount on to Northerly, and it did get Northerly's side on momentarily. When you get the result, relief is quite a good way to describe it.
Fred, you've never had a Cox Plate runner before. This one is wearing the colours of Western Australia, the yellow and the black. The jockey is West Australian born. You're a West Australian. The horse is owned and bred in West Australia. And you told me before that you wouldn't have minded being in Perth yesterday to watch the race that you won in Melbourne.
Well, just to soak up the atmosphere in Perth, I think you have to be there to understand, you know, the emotions in West Australia at the minute over this particular horse. And I wouldn't have minded just soaking up a little bit of that feeling. But I guess, Keith, to be fair to say, I wouldn't as well.
Well, we've got a new champ, and he was given the ultimate accolade too by Damien Oliver after the race, declaring that Northerly is the best horse that he has ridden.
Yeah, it's good to hear him say that, you know. Along the way he said he doesn't feel like a good horse, and I said to him again last night, does he feel like a good horse? He wouldn't say that he was that he felt like one, but he did say he is a very good horse.
Well, it was a tough run, is he?
The build-up. How good is Damien Oliver, Ken?
He's the best jockey in Australia by a furlong. He's got a gap on them at the moment, Graham. There's no one in Sydney gets close to him. He's got youth, he's got style, he's got brains, and he can ride. He's got a gap on him. He's the best rider by a long way. And, you know, Northerly's not an easy horse to ride, but he gets him home first. Yeah. And but it's not only on Northerly. You see him riding one, or better than anyone, and I'm quite certain. I think he's the best jockey been around since George Moore.
That is a rep. It's a cliched statement, I know, but he really is.
It was fantastic. She really gave it to me, but the winner was just too good. There's no excuse. Northerly was just too good on the day. It's just, you know, everyone was out there wanting her to win. I could feel it, but at the end of the day, we were beaten by a better horse.
Yeah, it was a great brigade now. Ken, what do you think of Viscount?
I felt sorry for Viscount. I thought it was a super run by the first 3-year-old since Octagonal to be placed in the Cox Plate. He's the 12th one to run. he got all the squeezing, and I really did feel sorry for him. But having said that, I think justice was done. I think Northerly certainly deserved the race. I couldn't possibly understand Greg Childs' protest second against first. I think he had a dream there.
Tactics.
And to try and...
Richard, psychologically, how would yesterday's incident affect Viscount in the future, do you think?
It's hard to tell, Joe. It's a good question. I mean, he's only a young horse. He's got in between a couple of seasoned performers there, and they've given him a bit of a hammering over the last, 50 metres. But, look, I didn't think he was in touch.
It's starting to lean the fact that Northerly should retain the race, but the real experts are still in the steward's room deliberating. So it's a long, long deliberation. The race was run, what is it now, 4 set to go, 1,000 metres, and they're away racing. Little Dozer missed the start on the inside, away very fast in the early stages was Mystegic. The favourite flew out of the gates and led from 8/8 and Regal Shot. Vavortrice is getting up into 4th placing, just behind them, followed by New Key. Bomberville improving on the outside, 2 lengths to Point and El Rico, and then another 2 lengths to Keeper, who's got well back with Little Dozer and Natois. Through the gap, and Mystegic had crossed the field and led well. 8/8 is second the outside, followed by Vavortrice. Regal Shot right behind them on the inside, 4th. 2 lengths to New Key, and then a Point. Bomberville, he's battling away at the moment, trailed by Keeper, who's making some ground, and then El Rico. Up to the turn they race, and it's Mystegic for home in front. Regal Shot's getting the run on the inside. 8/8 is wider out, and then came New Key into Point. Mystegic around the turn in front of 8/8, and Regal Shot coming on the inside. Mystegic in front, Regal Shot pegging it back, and a Point down the outside. It's a Point getting up to Mystegic and Regal Shot. Mystegic fights on well. Mystegic drew away again. Mystegic has won it from Regal Shot, a Point. Bomberville the outside, and then Keeper. 8/8 a long break to Natois, followed in by Little Dozer, Ulrico, New Key, and the last to go over the line in the race at the tail is Vavortrice.
He's the sprint king of the moment. 11 Mystegic, 360 and 170.
At 2, he looked to be in trouble for a few strides, but he really lifted when the chips were down.
For him yesterday to win a race like that on Cox Plate Day.
The horse that interested me in this race was Keeper's. Now, Keeper's made up ground coming to the turn, but he's a stallion, and I don't think he wanted to race between horses. So I reckon with a horse like Keeper's, you just got to get into the outside and go bang.
How did he look before the race, Kenny? A bit big?
Yeah. Shadow, that's the 4th consecutive year that the winner of the Scalacci Stakes at Caulfield has gone on to win that race. Mystegic making it 4 on the trot.
Sky Racing, I'm pleased to report. The last 2 races from the Valley live on Sky Racing, I'm pleased to report. OK, let's get to Kembla. Here's Matthew Hill. Here's Matthew Hill.
OK, John, thank you. Our Lady Margaret, $2.60. Kinky
$6. Brave Prince, 41. Diamond Dane, 20. Lord Essex, $11. Weasel Will, $9.10. Defier, $2.90. Knocking on the door, Defier. Damien Oliver up today. A Mission 11, Mr.
Lord Essex and the Collector, as they're about to make that turn up near the 1.5 Defier, Brave Prince. Typhoon travelling 3 or 4 wide with Weasel Will on his inside, 1.5 Chiron. He's followed then by Passing Shot, a Mission, and the Epsom winner Final Fantasy brought up the rear. In the run of the turn at the 800, Lady Marion from Lord Essex, the Collector 3 wide. Diamond Dane right behind them. He's in 4th placing on the inside of La Zagaletta, and Mr. Bureaucrat trapped wide. Going deeper still as Typhoon. He's never been on the track. Then came Weasel Will. Brave Prince, and over on the inside Defy. Gee, he's in an awkward place, the favourite, and scrubbed along. Final Fantasy took off round the outside at the school. Passing Shot tries to go with him, and then a Mission and Chiron. They're bunched in the Waterford Crystal coming for home. Lord Essex took a slender lead. Typhoon is running on right around the outside and joining him. Back behind them, Mr. Bureaucrat. La Zagaletta's getting a run on the inside, and Lady Marion's kicking back. Typhoon round the turn in front. La Zagaletta, the 99 winner, comes at him on the inside, and Weasel Will down the outside. Last year's winner, La Zagaletta in front. Weasel Will coming at him. Weasel Will's coming home hard. Weasel Will grabbed the lead. Weasel Will's won it again from La Zagaletta. Typhoon 3rd from Mr. Bureaucrat. Defier flying home when it was over, and then Passing Shot, a Mission. Lady Marion, and then Chiron, a break to Lord Essex, followed by Brave Prince, Final Fantasy, and then came Diamond Dane and the Collector. Weasel Will in the race last year has made it back-to-back Waterford Crystal Miles, beating La Zagaletta, who won the race in 99 and was 2nd last year. So the form has held up tremendously, 2 years apart in this one particular race. Weasel Will beating La Zagaletta to Weasel Will. Now a dual Waterford Crystal Mile winner. It's 8. 4 and 13 in the time of...
The two horses, Lazagoletta and Weasel Will, they've dominated this race 3 years in a row now. Lazagoletta winning in 1999, Weasel Will last year, and again Weasel Will beating Lazagoletta this year. So they've been two fantastic old performers for their stables, and a nice race to win too.
Keith of the Beaten Brigade? I don't think there was much behind the first and second place getters. Last year, Weasel Will won by 5 lengths. His win was authoritative. Yes, that was a very important win too, I thought, for Craig Williams, re-establishing himself in Melbourne after an international career. But all honours with the winner, and Lazagoletta is so honest too. Weren't they happy shots of Nigel Blackiston really celebrating the win, lifting it to the post? It really epitomises the sun.
Viking Ruler is out of the Victoria Derby. The trainer today told the owners the $1.5 million 3-year-old was suffering an arthritic hock problem and won't take his place in Saturday's Classic.
Let's see if there's been any variation. We have also the Queensland figures up there and the New South Wales totes, and you can see the move on the right. Now that means that Gordo has eased out 10 points.
Number 8, Road to Dance, from number 3, Grand Falls, and the favourite number 2, Gordo.
And let's go and...
Racing in the first. A little bit slow to begin. Mr. Greg missed it about 3 lengths and resoundingly out the back with Don Eduardo in the early part. Gordo's got about 4 or 5 behind it in the early stages. All Courage and presently 2 of the best to begin, presently almost pulling its way to the lead. Grand Falls is up 3rd and 4th on the inside Road to Dance. Then Jar Jar race a bit, getting his head up. Had to shift off the fence there. Grand Falls just checked off it a length away. Jar Jar Binks was handy and Gordo's wider out. Just lost a length or so there, Gordo, but he's out 3 deep running 7th. So he's doing it pretty tough. Road to Dance has had a beautiful run. Sambers in the green colours tracking it on the rails as they rounded the home turn. Then Just a Believer resoundingly. Sajoro taken out wider as they turned for home, and then Beresny, Don Eduardo and Mr. Greg turning into the straight at the 500, and presently is in front of All Courage. Slapped up Road to Dance. Wider out Grand Falls. Jar Jar Binks. Gordo's hanging in. Don Eduardo down the outside into Samba held up in traffic. It's All Courage going to the lead. Road to Dance switches out from behind. Gordo still running on. All Courage a length and a half in front of Road to Dance for Resney, and then Gordo, but it's All Courage the leader from Road to Dance, and Gordo late, but All Courage is holding them, and All Courage wins the first. All Courage has beaten Gordo, and Road to Dance for Resney was a good run, and they were followed by Mr. Greg, who made ground. Grand Falls, Don Eduardo.
5.1, so it just shows you how good this track is.
And the track record is 134. So big odds winner.
Told him he was clutching his strip.
2 All Courage, 23 and 6. New South Wales, 24.70 in Queensland.
He got a firm track and a good weight, and he was right there. A couple of other runs in the race. I tell you a horse to watch, Kenny. Don Eduardo. Ran on from the back, and he will make a racehorse.
You'd hope.
You're $3.6 million worth of hope, but I'll tell you what, he's starting to put it together.
Don't wait for 6.
Operator from Storm Zero, Finbar, Perfect Crime, 1, 5, 9 and 2. North Boy is $2.90, 13 for Perfect Crime, Spectatorial and New Key. Storm Zero 410, 510 King of Prussia, Ancient King of Prussia at $5.20, 42 Ancient Prince, and Chong Tong is at $19. Finbar is at 12, and for
racing. And caught them reasonably well. One of the best away, Storm Zero. New Key jumped away quick. Prussia and Chong Tong back towards the rear with Spectatorial near the rails. They come onto the course proper, 500 to go, and it's Finbar on the outside of Ancient Prince. Chong Tong 5 out, starting to close in on Storm Zero. Run Just Run handy to them, and then Spectatorial. King of Prussia and North Boy. Chong Tong went to the lead inside the 300. Drew 2 lengths to North Boy. King of Prussia, Perfect Crime. It's Chong Tong in front of North Boy, and Run Just Run. Chong Tong a length clear. North Boy coming in it now. It's Chong Tong just in front of North Boy. Chong Tong, North Boy, Chong Tong. A half ahead to North Boy. Close up 3rd. We had Spectatorial with Run Just Run. Then Perfect Crime, Storm Zero. Ancient Prince, Finbar got tied. Beaten by
one of Lee Friedman.
Lee's again. So,
yes, that's right. Lee started to carry off in great fashion.
And third
first one down the straight. Lee Friedman has won the first 2 at Flemington on Derby Day, and both of those winners have been better than 20 to 1. Chong Tong, Danny Dor and Primrose Sands, 10, 12, 11 and 3 are the ratings numbers in the Saab. Sale of Century, $10. Curata Storm, 41. Primrose Sands, 6.30. Spirit of Westbury, 13. Crown Mahal, 47. 10, May the Horse Be With You. 7.20 Indian Ridge. $18.74 for Guilty Verdict, number 19. Big field in the Saab.
Number 3 are at the barrier, and they'll be moving in very, very soon. Correct weight at Cheltenham.
Gates crashed back, they're racing. Frenzal Rom jumped well with Primrose Sands kicking up on the inside. May the horse be with you was handy. With Just Honour, Indian Ridge and wider out Spirit of Westbury racing up towards the lead. Scrumptious about midfield, very wide around Tiger's Eye, Green Raider. Curata off the leader, Primrose Sands, which again goes through on the inside of Spirit of Westbury. Leads it by half a length and a half away. May the horse be with you, third. Indian Ridge was fourth, and then Just Honour, Guilty Verdict, 3 wide. Next on the inside was Frenzal Rom, and then came Scrumptious, Big Hustler around them from Crown Mahal. Sail of Century starting to improve. Curata Storm next to rails, and then Tiger's Eye as they bunch up with Prophet's Kiss, and Filler the War towards the back with Yuppie as they round the turn. Touch the Grooms about fourth last. Swinging to the straight, Primrose Sands, Spirit of Westbury having another crack at it. 2 lengths away, Indian Ridge, and May the horse be with you. Just Honour into the clear, then came Big Hustler and Scrumptious. It's Spirit of Westbury at the 300. May the horse be with you as after it. Just Honour running a race, then Primrose Sands weakening. Spirit of Westbury in front. May the horse be with you. Getting up on the inside, Just Honour wider out. It's Spirit of Westbury. May the horse be with you. Pushing through. Spirit of Westbury and May the horse be with you. May the horse be with you. Reach the lead from Spirit of Westbury, and May the horse be with you wins it. May the horse be with you by a neck to Spirit of Westbury. Touch the Groom ran on well. May have got third from Just Honour. Prophet's Kiss made up ground. Then Curata Storm, next home Indian Ridge. Further back to Frenzal Rom, and then Scrumptious. Well back Prophet's Kiss, Yuppie in the field.
Well, wider out as Indian Ridge and coming down the outside, and then Primrose Sands battling only. It's May the horse be with you, getting to the lead from Spirit of Westbury, 100 to go. They'll fight the race out. May the horse be with you, goes home the better. May the horse be with you, and Spirit of Westbury into the Melbourne Cup field. Touch the Groom flashing home for third from Just Honour, Curata Storm, and then came Prophet's Kiss wide out from Indian Ridge. Ben, the Cup last year with Brew and ridden beautifully by Jason Patton. 12:20, 3:50. 4 Spirit of Westbury, Stephen Arnold, 4:30. 8 Touch the Groom, 2:7.
Up and go through and win the Melbourne Cup.
Winning form's good form, Graham. This horse has been in great form. He ran second in the Geelong Cup, and he's come out and won on the Saturday, forced his way into the race. He's got no weight on his back. He's drawn a good gate, and I reckon he's every chance.
Changed the tune in the winter. You wanted to put the pot on the horse.
I just said he hadn't done enough, but he's done enough now. Is that all right?
It's quite amazing, that set of deja vu, isn't it? The Saab quality, same race, same result for Mike Moroney, the trainer Brew winning and then doing the double with the Melbourne Cup. And I'm like you, Rich. I reckon winning form is good form, and I reckon that May the horse be with you. He's got a good chance on Tuesday. It's also
Lady Marion 40, market price 9.40, Noir Seer 36, Larzophony 34, 29 Super Sequel, and Sorrento at $9.70. 6.20 It's Platonic, 10 Hello Dolly, 12 Miss Powerbird, 47 Romano Star, Perno 670, Calm Smites at 690, KMS 21 and Fates Gallants at 6.
KMS from Bletzy, market price from Simon, so we've got plenty of opinions here. Here's another one.
We did last year at $6.50. That's for the 4th event. That win pool, quite amazing for an early race on Derby Day. The 4th is already over 1.1 million. So you wonder what those pools are going to be like when we get around to the main. The Victoria Derby is race 6.
Racing. Jumping well was Perno. Miss Powerbird might have got a little bit of a check after the start. Drops back, and the Noir-Seer, Tickle My Romano Star, all these back at the start. Super Sequel goes to an early lead. Dandify was handy, and so was KMS. And Lady Marion from an outside draws now working 14 lengths off the lead with 1,000 to go. KMS in front leads Lady Marion. Super Sequel third, 4th Dandify. It's Platonic with a green cap 5th, and Perno on the rails was 6th, and then Calm Smites. Miss Powerbird's now out 3 wide. Lazophony around the outside, and then came Market Price as they ran up towards the bend. Miss Powerbird's in the middle. 3 wide around Lazophony's got the purple cap as they made the turn. Then Fate Gallant, Hello Dolly is back about 12th on the bend, and then Romano Star, Tickle My, Sorrento, and Noir-Seer. 500 to go. KMS leads Lady Marion, and Super Sequel, who's had a pretty good run, but it's scrubbed up. Then Dandify. Perno gets out. Calm Smites runs on. Market Price railing. Further out was Lazophony. Zoffany, and then came its Platonic, and Noircia very deep out. They're stretched across the track. Perno hit the lead from Calm Schmeitzer. Noircia with a run, and Market Price got through. Market Price goes through on the rails and sprints away, and Market Price will win it. Drawing clear, Market Price has beaten Perno and Calm Schmeitzer. Then Tickle My and Noircia. Next home was Romano Star La Zoffany. Further back to Dandify, Super Sequel, K-Mess, Hello Dolly, Never a Factor, and then came Fate Gallant from Sorrento. It was
Dandify makes ground, and Perno's trying to get into the clear. Market Price making some ground on the inside, and here's Calm Schmeitzer from Romano Star and La Zoffany at the 300. KMS narrowly, but there's a wall of horses chasing it. Calm Schmeitzer and Perno are running on, and Market Price got a split one off the rail, and here's Marcia and La Zoffany. Market Price got the split and hit the lead to Perno, Calm Schmeitzer and Tickle My, and it's Market Price coming away. Market Price by 2 lengths to Perno, a half hit to Calm Schmeitzer, then Tickle My and Noircia out wider, followed by Romano Star, and in behind them La Zoffany.
Platonic.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan, Glenn Boss, he's ridden this a treat. He was back, I reckon, 7 or 8 horses when they came around that home corner, hard up against the...
By Tony McAvoy, 9:30, 3:30. 13 Perno, ridden by Karen McAvoy, 2:70. 14 Calm Schmeitzer, ridden...
Lucky in the Toorak, and we came away after that day feeling that she probably should have won the race. And to get the luck today, which she needs, she's a mare that gets back and needs the favours. To get those favours was an amazing thrill. And
yeah, Tony McAvoy. Soft win at the end, wasn't it?
It was, and she's a horse that's always needed luck. Yesterday, I think Glenn Boss put that forward. He made the luck. Great ride of the day. I think that one race where the form did stack up well, Nassoir did run on pretty well.
Yeah, she's won 5 out of 10 on this distance at 1,600 metres, something like 4 out of 9 at Flemington. She's a track specialist, but I said on this show last week, and I've been very critical of Glenn Boss at times in the past, but I said on big race days and big race carnivals in the last 2 years, he's put his name forward and he's ridden winners. And I agree with Alf, there was no better ride at Flemington yesterday than Glenn Boss's ride at Market Price. He took a couple of gambles.
And Lilo Lil, Moon Flute and Gold Lottie are equal top raters from Magical Miss, 5, 6, 10 and 2. Wan Mo carries the 1 saddlecloth, 17, 650 Magical Miss, 11 Hosanna, Uga Chaka, 590, Lilo Lil 6, 18 Moon Flute, 100 Gold Lottie 640, 15 Hot Beat, Shah Alma 100, 970 Manang, 19 for Keys, Silk Vale.
Cup Carnival. 10 minutes ago, there were 7 horses equal favourite at double each way odds. It is the most unbelievable market you've ever seen. But the one they have come for is number 2, Hosanna. And I can tell you that Hosanna opened up at double figure odds and was the 7th horse in betting when they opened. It is now the favourite. There's been a bit of money for Uga Chaka. It is an incredible race. You're getting incredible value whatever you back.
In commission, Magic Star. My Sienna won the race in 1999, ridden by Greg Hall.
Racing, missing the start, Shah Elma. Wanmo could have got squeezed up after the start. It goes back to second last. Primary Vision, one of the first out with Hot Beat and Lilo Lil. Gold Lottie's forward in the early part, looking for the lead with Hosanna handy, and also Keys is up there. Back about 7th. Wanmo second last and Shah Elma's last. 1,000 metres to travel. Hosanna led a half a length on Gold Lottie. Keys is third. Paladama, the Bolts are running 4th. And then Hot Beat on the inside of Primary Vision. 2 lengths to Lilo Lil. And then came Silk Vale from Manang Tully Thunder. It'd be about 10 lengths off the lead. 2 lengths away, Magical Mist. And then Alethea as they round the bend from Moon Flute, Uga Chaka, Shah Elma, and Wanmo last. Less than 600 to travel. Hosanna's about to turn into the straight in front of Gold Lottie and Paladama. Keys right behind them, and then Hot Beat scrubbed up from Primary Vision, Silk Vale, Tully Thunder into the clear, and then Lilo Lil. Gold Lottie tackles Hosanna, the Bolt of Paladama. Lilo Lil gets out, Tully Thunder runs on, so does Magical Miss. It's Gold Lottie tackled now by Keys. Tully Thunder late. Keys went for the lead from Lilo Lil. Gold Lottie kicking back. Keys in front of Gold Lottie, 50 to go. Keys just in front end, Keys. Keys beat second Gold Lottie and Lilo Lil. Tully Thunder may have been a little bit unlucky. Paladama far ran a cheeky race. Then Magical Miss.
Then Lilo Lil and Hot Beat and Magical Miss a fair way back. Gold Lottie is tackled by Keys at the 200, and then Hosanna, Peladama and Lilo Lil. It's now Keys and Gold Lottie fighting it out. Keys put the head in front of Gold Lottie, and Keys wins the Wakefield by a neck to Gold Lottie. Lilo Lil third, and then came Tally Thunder, Peladama, Hot Beat and Magical Miss. Next in was Manan.
Williams, trained by Clary Connors. Her form this campaign has been absolutely outstanding. She is a very, very good filly, Keys. 10 Gold Lottie second, $2.90 ridden by Darren Gouchy. 5 Lilo Lil, Darren Beedman, $2.30. $77.
That horse was always safe in the market. Keys paid about $18 on the total of $19. It was about 4 or 5 points short on the ring, but not a lot of money for it. Bookmakers, again, take the money, 5-0. Let's go to the Derby. Probably
In the end, 2,500 hold no problems for you?
I don't think so.
Anything too, yeah. Impressive. Yeah, I think that the performance by Keys was as good as Oaks Trial that came out of the race, Shadow. It's interesting, before the race, it's interesting that Gold Lottie didn't pass really a pre-race vet test. Stewart's let her run, and she was tested later for a urine sample. So Gold Lottie will wait on that. But this is a pretty good performance, isn't it, Tappy?
Certainly is. You know, Lilo Lil, did you see her work over the line the last 100 metres? That had Oaks written all over it. Gee, it was a lovely Oaks trial.
Magical Miss getting to the line pretty nicely too.
A bit grindy yesterday, wasn't she, Magical Miss?
Anything that got back was going to have a big problem getting home. They weren't coming home. Keys was in the right spot. But with rain predicted on Tuesday and Wednesday, the track might turn around. It might be a hard race to actually find the Oaks form out of.
But Richard, are these weather forecasters, they're about as good a judge as you are of racing form, aren't they?
Well, it is Melbourne.
I don't know what to win the Oaks. I think about 4 or 5 horses ran equally as well there, and I do think Magical Miss will be better suited over the 2,500 the way she raced.
We're here live at...
Could be a 2-horse race. Tim Hodges has the details. It looms as a showdown between two. A couple of the game's heavyweights armed with 3-year-olds hoping to snare the Victoria Derby. But Cummings Ustinov tackling John Hawkes' Viscount. With a good track assured, the Cups King is full of confidence.
He's a good type of colt. He's beautifully conformed, and he relaxes pretty good in the race, which is ideal for a derby and around Flemington.
The big query continues for connections of Viscount, how he will fare after last week's Cox Plate battering.
He pulled up fantastic. You couldn't have expected the horse to pull up any better than what he did. He probably surprised us a bit because we thought there might have been a couple of battle scars and there was none.
Just a question mark of how he backs up now, I suppose, in the 2,500. But he's a tough individual, and you know, he looked great throughout the week.
Cummings impressed by Viscount's run at Moonee Valley, but questioning whether he can go the extra distance tomorrow.
He was pretty impressive, really. Yeah. The thing is, can he go a mile and a half the week later?
The only other contender under double-figure odds is Peter Moody's Amalfi. He looks to be the best of the rest, even if Damien Oliver wasn't super keen until Wednesday.
I think he was a little bit cold on the horse after the Robinson, and probably due to lack of opportunity he's been forced to stick with us, but just sort of sense that he's got a little bit keen the last sort of 48 hours.
The Gay Water
225, very impressive last week at Moonee Valley, and he is a deserved favourite. Number 3, Amalfi at $5. It's the one that I'm going for. I think he can beat the other 2 chances, and the bookies come out in me for this pick. Number 4, Sirkan Damon.
And even more delighted now. First betting race of the lot, to be quite frank with you. Ustinov, $2.40 on the tote, dollar for dollar here in the bookmakers ring. Basically, that's about the price. Viscount. It could be a 2-horse war in the betting ring and a 2-horse war on the track, Pete.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim, in prize money. The top raider, Will Viscount, is just ahead of Ustinov. Then 10 points back to Amalfi and Sirkan Damon. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Viscount, $3.60, Ustinov, $2.40, and Amalfi at $4.90. They're really the only 3 horses that punters have been talking about all week. You could probably put 3. 15 Tully's Eels given an each-way chance. Thunderhawk 22 and...
National Anthem.
2 minutes' time. Shortly after they've hit the line, we will be replaying the Victoria Derby. 1.7 almost in the pool, 1.7 million. Viscount $3.40. Ustinov $2.30 on the Super Tab. He's a Ustinov $2.30. Viscount $3.40. He ran 3rd in the Cox Plate last week. Straight.
Now, Pete, we've had some magnificent 3-year-old colts and geldings out this season. Only this handful have survived. They've survived the pressure, these two, and they came through with flying colours. Both of them looked...
Houston missed the start by about a length. Sir Khan one of the best out with Fantastic and wider out for Saturday Fever and Thunderhawk and pushing through Tully Zeal and the Backs Factor. So there's a number of horses that want to race up on the speed, and it's the Backs Factor going to the lead. Tully Zeal will end up on the fence behind it, and Fantastic third with Saturday Fever pressing on 3 deep. Up to about fifth is Thunderhawk on the outside of Viscount. Then Serve to Travel and making a move was Tully Zeal. Goes up to put some pressure on and goes to the lead now. So Tully Zeal takes over from the Backs Factor and Saturday Fever. Fantastic was fourth and Thunderhawk is fifth. Viscount's had a good run. 1.5 lengths away Zarek, and inside of it Sir Khan Demon. 2 lengths to National Chase and the Melfi. 2 lengths to Houstonov. Still standing the lead at 10 lengths. Last is Sir Anavar. 800 metres to travel. Tully Zeal 1.5 lengths clear of the Backs Factor and Saturday Fever. Fourth is Thunderhawk. Fifth is Fantastic. Then Zarek outside of Viscount. National Chase to Melfi. Sir Khan Demon. Houstonov 2 lengths away. About 8 or 9 off the lead, and Sir Anavar struggles last. Around the turn, 500 to go. Tully Zeal now headed by Saturday Fever. Nighthawk 3 out. Zarek wider out. Viscount shovel back. Houstonov's under the whip. Into the straight. Tully Zeal kicks back to the inside. The bolter Zarek and Amalfi gets out. National Chase down the outside. Fantastic getting through. It's Zarek. Amalfi now. Houstonov running on. Amalfi went to the lead. Fantastic battles on with Zarek. The leader is Amalfi. Zarek trying to come back. Amalfi and Zarek. Zarek's kicking back on the inside of Amalfi. Amalfi and Oliver. Amalfi a nose for Zarek and Fantastic. Then Houstonov. Sir Khan Demon Viscount. Next in was National Chase Nighthawk. Tully Zeal, Sir Anavar and Saturday Fever to the back with the Backs Factor.
Entering the straight at the 500 metres now. Saturday Fever moved up to Tully Zeal. Sir Khan Demon going for the rails. Here's Amalfi, Zarek and National Chase putting in runs down the outside. Viscount can't go on, and Houstonov's got a big job to do. At the 200 metres, it's Amalfi racing after Zarek. Fantastic getting a run on the inside, and then came National Chase. Amalfi, Zarek, Fantastic the inside, 100 to go. Amalfi and Zarek fighting out the race. Amalfi the outside, Zarek, they hit the line. Photo finish. Amalfi or Zarek, maybe Amalfi in a desperately close go. Just behind them, Fantastic's run third from Sir Khan Demon, Houstonov, National Chase and Viscount. They were followed then by
Amalfi the winner, D. Oliver. Breath in it, and it has got it by the breath. 7 Zarek, the maiden, having its 14th start. What a run.
She did that fight back. And
look at the margin. A very, very narrow one as they hit the line, and Fantastic number 9, ridden by Corey Brown, back in third spot at 14.30 for a place. The totes are 5.70, 1.70 Amalfi, 11.40 Zarek, 14.30 for Fantastic.
Big, so no, you know, he was there on Robinson Day, and it was just a matter of keeping him ticking.
Your biggest moment by a long way?
No doubt, and hopefully more to come.
Your hands shaking a little bit. You look as though you're pretty composed. Thumbs up to Damien Oliver as he walks past, but when's it going to sink in?
Oh, well, I don't know. Take a while, but we'll enjoy the moment.
So you should. Congratulations.
Just got beaten by a short half head one year on Centro, and won one by short half head today, so it was great. Yeah, it was a great feeling, and particularly to share it with Peter Moody, who's a good friend, and when he was mucking out stables and performing for Billy Mitchell when I was doing the same for Freedmans, and you know, it's his first Group 1 winner. I'm just delighted to share it with him.
Peter was pretty happy during the week with his work. How did he sort of feel during the race, knowing that the track was pretty firm out there?
Well, I mean, he hasn't got bad form on firm tracks, just that he excelled the other day when it was soft. So I thought if it was soft, it would bring him right into the race. You know, come up firm today. I still thought he had a chance, but probably not quite as confident. But, you know, credit to Peter and all his staff. He's a great horseman, and I'm sure he's going to go a long way as a trainer.
And a great credit to you too, Damien Oliver. Just watching that race.
To win your first Group 1.
Probably couldn't select a better one. You know, the VRC Derby, it's one of the great blue ribbons, and wouldn't trade it in for anything, Jeff.
When did you reckon Amalfi was a Derby chance? How far back?
I always hoped, I suppose, like every trainer, but he's running the Stud Stakes, so I don't think he got enough credit for that. It was a very good run that night. He ran third. Viscount had a very soft run up front and he had a checkered passage and hit the line strong, and I thought that night that we could certainly be competitive with Viscount at any trip beyond a mile.
Peter, in all that you were a little concerned he may have worked too well last Tuesday morning. You just had a nagging doubt that he might have left something of himself on the training track. What happened in that gallop? Did he go a little too hard? He went faster than you wanted to go?
No, he didn't overwork. He's such a relaxed horse, but the times and the sectionals of his gallop were, you know, not expected of a horse this far into a preparation, and sort of tossed and turned. Fitness was never a problem, but I just wondered, you know, sometimes horses throw a gallop like that into you and there's only one way they can go, is downhill, but he reaffirmed my beliefs on Thursday morning when he worked nicely and came through.
First of all, I'm pretty sure the best horse won, Amalfi, but I don't think a lot of people realise, people say, oh, look where Payne had Houston off. When you watch replays, I would say that Amalfi was a length and a quarter at the most in front of Houston off on the home turn. I just think with the Bart Cummings hype, the son of Let's Elope, I thought he had a super chance Houston off too. But the price became a bit ridiculous in the finish. And with Viscount, now here's a horse who's won 3 Group 1 races, 1 at 1400, 2 at 1600, by jumping in front in 2 of them and by the other one sitting on the speed. I just can't fathom out if a horse can show that speed at 1400 and 1600, why he's got to get back in the pack at 2500. I just think Viscount, like, I think his race was going out the straight the first time when he was back crowded between horses. And I'm amazed, after his Caulfield Guineas failure, Connection said that they didn't think Viscount liked racing back in the field. Well, why in the heck was he back in the field yesterday? He had the pace to go forward.
Interesting. Rich, your thoughts on Eustainoff and also Viscount?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk through my pocket like Kenny and criticise Kieran McAvoy's ride on Viscount, but I thought Viscount was a bit disappointing. He might have been a bit over the top from the Cox Plate. He'd had a hard run there, got bumped into a couple of times by a couple of tough horses, and you know, I just thought he looked flat on the day. Eustainoff, a nice run, that might be as good as Eustainoff goes, you know, and I thought the best horse won on the day.
Do you think...
Didn't it?
One of the other key races here tomorrow is the McKinnon Stakes, always an important guide to the Melbourne Cup. Never more so than this year as we start to have question marks over Universal Prince.
Well, his favouritism's got to be teetering at the moment for the Melbourne Cup, doesn't it? This is D-Day, as you say, Gerard. I tipped him in the Cox Plate and I was mortified to see, even after about 200 metres, that he was scrubbed along and just couldn't keep up. Could he, Rich?
It was very disappointing. I think even Bede Murray and Justin Sheen, deep down in their hearts, were very disappointed with the run of Universal Prince in the Cox. But win on Tuesday.
Carpstead Way, a dry track, Matty.
Well, isn't he the perennial nightmare horse? He hasn't won for about 13 years or something, has he, Carpstead Way? But funny enough, in a McKinnon of little real quality this year, he's a horse that has got that little dash of quality, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. There's been pressure I've got for the McKinnon, a tough race, and I've lined them up this way. I've gone Freemason at $21, Carpstead Way at $7, Citrus Prince at $21, Emission at $13. I go down to Universal Prince, which is the favourite for the race, at $3.50. Bush Padre at $13. The one I've gone for is one that's probably set for this race rather than being set for the Melbourne Cup, and I've gone for Cinderbella. It's won a couple of good weight for age races in New Zealand. I think can do it again tomorrow. And the big
Prince and Cinderbella are equal top raters from Freemason and Citrus Prince, 6, 11, 1 and 3. Freemason 25, Carpstead Way 5.10, Citrus Prince 23, Emission 11, Merlin's Law 63, Universal Prince 450, 9.90 Bush Padre 50, 7.30 In a Flurry, 9.40 Cinderbella, 29 Matriculate, 40 Triculate, 47 La Bella Dama and Tyroline at $38. The McKinnon Stakes, the Cup winner, won way on his way to the Cup, $5.50. And the current Melbourne Cup favourite, a lot of punters have jumped off after the Cox Plate last week where he performed. And of course she's changed ownership. If you've been following In a Flurry, she's racing in a different set of colours today. The Lloyd Williams navy blue with white armbands, and she's at $7.80. Hillary, 1 minute away from a start. Runners are at the barrier, and they'll be moving in fairly soon. Just bringing
update from the betting ring.
Just bringing
update from the betting ring. Tim Gossage.
Serious plunge now, Pete. We use that word very sparingly, but I can tell you a serious plunge on Universal Prince. Its price is tumbling with every second before they jump here in the McKinnon Stakes.
Maybe they're trying to cash up before the Tui's new Melbourne Cup here on Tuesday. Universal Prince, the reigning favourite at the moment, but there have been a few question marks placed over him since that Cox Plate run. Will to
find out. Racing Cinderbella a little bit bit slow. Citrus Prince drifts back, and Universal Prince is back last with Freemason. La Bella Dama jumped in front of Bush Padre, Tyroline, Matriculate pushing up nearer the rails, and Hill of Grace was handy as well. Then came a mission up to a side of Inner Flurry, 1.5 to Citrus Prince, 1/2 to Merlin's Law, 4 lengths away Freemason, and 5 lengths away Universal Prince, and he's about 18 to 20 lengths off the lead. 1,000 metres to travel. La Bella Dama in front, Bush Padre a length away second, Matriculate third, and then Hill of Grace and Tyroline. 1.5 to a mission, who's had a nice run. 2 lengths to Cinderbella, who's racing 7th on the inside of Carpstad Way. Another 2 lengths to Rum and Inner Flurry, 2 lengths to Merlin's Law. Inside of it, Citrus Prince, 2 lengths to Freemason, and 5 away Universal Prince. He's 20 lengths off the lead with 600 left to travel. La Bella Dama's in front, rounding the turn. 1/2 length to Bush Padre, 1.5 to Matriculate and Hill of Grace. Carpstad Way's creeping into the race now from Cinderbella, and then came a mission hooked out from Tyroline. Universal Prince is 15 off the lead. The Bolter La Bella Dama led Bush Padre. Hill of Grace giving chase, and a mission joining in. Then Matriculate, followed by Carpstad Way, and then Cinderbella. La Bella Dama's in front of Hill of Grace, and a mission from Cinderbella. La Bella Dama at the 200 letter length to a mission still coming. The Bolter La Bella Dama in front of a mission. Still La Bella Dama from a mission. La Bella Dama's going to lead all the way. La Bella Dama's beaten Hill of Grace and a mission. Then Cinderbella, Rum. Next time Matriculate from Bush Padre, Inner Flurry, Carpstad Way, Tyroline. Universal Prince, he will not be cup favourite on that, there's no doubt about that. And then came Freemason, Merlin's Law, and Citrus Prince dropped out of it.
Well, Stratus Carpstad Way, he's poised to make his finishing run. Clear of Tyroline, Inner Flurry's a fair way back. Universal Prince is still last. At the 300, La Bella Dama got a second win. She leads by 2 lengths. A Mission and Hill of Grace are coming after her. Bush Padre's had enough. Cinderbella with a run. La Bella Dama at the 150. A Mission closing now, and Hill of Grace in the middle. La Bella Dama still in front of a Mission and Hill of Grace. La Bella Dama fighting strongly. La Bella Dama wins at her neck. Hill of Grace and a nose to a Mission. Cinderbella 4th. Then came Rum, Bush Padre, Matriculate, and next in Inner Flurry, followed by Carpstad Way. Universal Prince was never in the race, and back behind him was Tyroline, Freemason.
La Bella Dama, Graham Rogerson trained, won at Mini Valley the other day, and she's led all the way here, Dan, and I really can't make an excuse for any horse, and Universal Prince, well, I don't know whether I'd go on with a cup start for him.
Look, he might have made a few lengths up, but the usual...
This track's pretty firm, whether... I don't know, like I knew it.
Bella Dama, ridden by Scott Seamer, this amazing run for this former New South Wales jockey continues. He rode a treble at Caulfield on Cup Day, including the Cup on Ethereal. Another Group 1 today, the McKinnon with La Bella Dama. 9 Hill of Grace, Corey Brown, 280.
There was a very animated discussion between Bede Murray and Justin Sheehan after he got off the horse. Right. Justin Sheehan told Bede Murray, I didn't think he stretched out. He seemed rigid in his action. Bede Murray said, well, you should have had him closer anyway. So there were a few terse words there.
Yes, but on that run, Peter.
Well, would they bother running him in the Melbourne Cup?
I don't know. I'm not game to say, but gee, I wouldn't want to have my money on him.
Well, he couldn't possibly win on that performance.
No.
But you know, will Universal Prince?
Just a quick couple of questions. First of all, can you give us an indication as to what was said in there?
The vet just said that he appears lame in his offside back, so I want to go and have a look at the horse.
So at this stage, no to Tuesday?
I don't know.
Still too early. And what about Justin's ride? Can you just give us some indication as to how you felt about it?
No comment on that. We don't know how the horse is.
Bede Murray there with Mark Aston. So
I said to him, to the stewards in there, I think he'll find something wrong with him because he just wasn't himself.
So at this stage, do you think he should run in the Melbourne Cup?
Well, that's not my decision to make. That's up to the veterinarian and his trainer.
And what about Bede? And did you have some words with Bede after the race?
Oh, I asked Bede, mate. We never have any words. I mean, the horse has something wrong.
Well, there you go. So there is a lot of...
to Scott Seamer and, of course, La Bella Dama trained by Graham Rogerson. Now, we'll be very interested to hear what the beaten jockeys had to say. Let's firstly start off with Corey Brown, who rode Universal Prince and his run in the McKinnon. Here's what the chairman of stewards, Des Gleeson, had to say.
And the veterinary surgeon reported that it was clearly lame in the off hind leg.
subsequent to the race, and a further examination half an hour later confirmed that the horse was lame. You know, what causes that we don't know, but we did question Justin Sheen further, and Mr. Murray, the trainer, and notified Mr. Murray that Universal Prince will have to undergo a thorough veterinary examination by Racing Victoria veterinary stewards after exercising before we'd permitted to start in the Melbourne Cup.
Well, Ken, you've had plenty to say about Universal Prince already. Anything to add after listening to that?
The one thing I'd like to add, Graham, is that those of us in Sydney think of Bede Murray as probably the best trainer of long-distance horses in the town, like right up there with Gay Waterhouse and Bart Cummings. I know that sounds a big statement, but any long-distance race, his horses are good. He's also a fabulous horseman. If Universal Prince, there's a little problem after yesterday and he can be got right by Monday or Tuesday, Bede Murray's the man. And he is...
The fact that Justin Sheehan knows that horse like he'd know his own brother or sister. He's ridden Universal Prince in every race start, every barrier trial, and most track gallops. He would know instantly if there was something wrong.
It's intriguing, this lameness he had yesterday. So sore was he in the early stages of the races. I read that Justin Sheehan considered pulling him out of the event altogether, but then he noted an improvement in the horse in the later stages of the race, and a second veterinary examination revealed the horse not to be as lame as initially. So,
yeah. As Ken was said about the sectional times that he reeled off too.
Richard, your experience with horses, can they pull a muscle jumping or something and then sort of half get out of it during the exercise? Or
They certainly can, and to be fair to Justin Sheehan, that can happen. The horse can be very lame in the first part of the race or feel very rough. Yeah. And then the adrenaline gets pumping and they seem to not notice the pain so much, and they're probably worse when they pull up, but when they cool down. I don't know how the horses cool down, but it's not the preparation you want for a Melbourne Cup. The jockey's under pressure, the steward's obviously inquired into his ride, the trainer's under pressure, the horse is pulled up with a problem, the horse is under pressure. He's had 2 poor runs in a row now. It's not the preparation you want for a Melbourne Cup.
How do you rate in a flurry?
Pointing, and I also doubt her at 2 miles, so I don't consider in a flurry a top cup chance, do you?
Were you at Flemington yesterday?
Yes, Kev.
Yeah, just double checking. I thought her run was super.
Did you? Yeah. And what would lead you to that opinion, incidentally, Ken?
Because I think she settled, which was a big worry with her. I think she went home from the 200-metre mark to the post as good as anything in the race. And I don't know Cliff Brown, the trainer of In a Flurry, but reading his reports of it, he seemed quite more than satisfied with the performance, and I'm sure she'll take a place, Keith, and I'll be backing her.
OK, well, I'll just add one thing. The winner of the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday didn't run at Flemington yesterday, to my mind.
Finale, Kamina and Show a Heart, 10-15-8-1 for the Sky ratings. Through the figures, 17 Show a Heart, 18 Toledo, 10 Mr Murphy, 21 Umrum, 660 Higher, 720 Bomber Bill, Kamina's at $6. And then it's over to 940 Belle de Jour, 13 Oamaru, 470 Pittons, 23 Nanny Marone.
And, there's been a bit of drama here in the mounting yard. Sorry to interrupt, but Corey Brown has been thrown, and I'm not sure whether this horse has rolled on him.
He has.
Oamaru Force. Roy Higgins is there. Would be a scratching if Corey is not fit to ride. Now, this is what happened if Corey is not fit to ride. Now, this is what happened just a couple of moments ago, and you can see that's the tail end of it, and he may have been collected by just one of those flailing legs on the way down. And that is a shocking thing to see. But it's one of those incidents, and we'll get Roy's thoughts in the meantime. Tim Gossage in the betting ring.
Peter, only 2 runners, currently 16 in the race, 2 runners under double figures should I say, in the betting ring. They've come to a Kamina. She's clearly the favourite, the one they want to be on. They're jumping out of trees again. I don't know where the punters are finding the money after the previous 7 races, but they've certainly come for Kamina and late specking for Higher as well.
OK, Kamina, and looks like, is that Greg Childs?
Greg Childs, yes.
Yeah. So, just
$8.80 Bomber Bill, Belle de Jour, $9.20. And if you're wondering, they did take
heavily back favourite from the outside gate. Racing. Kamina jumped well with Show a Heart, and they are going to split up here. Kamina straight to the outside rail with Show a Heart, Point Danger. Also handy was Pittons and True Jewels. On the flat side, Crystal Finale away well. Sadurka's leading it though clearly. Oamaru Force up to about 3rd, and then Bomber Bill and Mr Murphy from Toledo. And then Higher back behind that bunch with Nanny Maroon as they came up to the 600. The grandstand side, Fair Embrace and Kamina are together. Just in behind those, Point Danger with Pittance handy from Show a Heart, Belle de Jour and Umrum. On the flat side, Sedurka led by 5 lengths over Oamaru Force, Bomber Bill. Hires making ground. The grandstand side, it's Fair Embrace, Kamina, Point Danger and Pittance. On the flat side, it's Sedurka, 4 in front. It's the grandstand side, Fair Embrace, tackled by Kamina, Point Danger and Show a Heart. Sedurka getting tied on the flat side. Sedurka's in front, it's 2 lengths clear. Hires after it, Sedurka in front. Hire inch by inch, wearing it down. Sedurka! I think Sedurka from Hire and Kamina, they're worlds apart. One's in South Africa and the other one's out in China somewhere. Nothing between Sedurka, Hire, Kamina. Not far away, we had Belle de Jour, Oamaru Force, Show a Heart, Point Danger, Fair Embrace knocked up, and then Mr. Murphy, Crystal Finale, Toledo, Pittance, Umrum in True Jewels towards the back. It's a photo. Very close.
Now 400 left to go. Sedurka's got a big lead over on the flat side. He's gone out about 6 lengths to Oamaru Force, followed by Higher down the outside, and then Bomber Bill and Nanny Maroon on the grandstand now. Kamina with her run, getting to Fair Embrace, Show a Heart, and then Belle de Jour and Point Danger across the track. 100 to go. Sedurka is in front on the flat side from Higher, and Kamina this side. Sedurka in front, Kamina this side. Sedurka holding on, and Sedurka on the inside beats Higher. Photo for third, got no idea. Kamina's up there with Belle de Jour and Fair Embrace, not far off them with Point Danger.
Trot at Flemington today, Sedurka all the way, 29.90, 8.30, ridden by Dan Nikolic for Brian Mayfield Smith. Higher, number 6 running second, Darren Beedman, 2.80, and 8 Kamina, Stephen Arnold, $2.40.
It was red hot, the horses up on the pace, and if you got back further than about 5th or 6th place on the corner, and it is a 450 metre straight, so it was very hard to make up ground. You had to be close to the rail, you had to be near the lead, and very few horses made ground up wide. Horses on the outside rail were actually in front of the main bunch in that race for most of the way, but Sedurka had a big lead on all of them and they weren't able to peg him back.
What a strong form race the Toorak Handicap provided to be yesterday. That was the second winner to come out of that.
Absolutely, Joe, and Sedurka really bolted in the Toorak Handicap, didn't he? Set up a massive break and he virtually bolted yesterday. The only difference was they couldn't catch him, and it did make it harder for horse
today. We refer to Corey Brown on Oamaru Force. The horse reared on a couple of occasions and threw him twice and he had to be replaced. Here's the incident, Keith. You were there and saw this in the mounting yard?
Yes, I was, Shadow, and Corey Brown, as you can see now, Oamaru Flip does a back... Oamaru Flip. Oamaru does a back flip with twist. Landed on Paul Carey, and he was pretty... look at this now. Wow. And that put Corey Brown out of business, and some of us wondered whether it put the horse out of business. But Des Police and the Chief Stipe said one backflip is permissible, two you're out. There was a 10-minute delay at the start of the race, but the horse didn't run well anyway.
Now the Lumber at Flemington is the last. Desert Eagle, 1 under, Flavour and St Cecile, 6.13, 1 and 3. Flavour opens at 7.90, 9.70 Accabilk, 17 St Cecile, 16 Make Mine Magic, 29 Scenic Warrior, 7.30 Desert Eagle, 9.80 Scenic Peak, and Eutectic at $23. 9.20 Matter of Honour, last year's winner, Miss Zoe 26, 12 Super Impressive, 13 Glen Rowan with G Boss, the new rider, 29 1 under, 9.90 PlayStation, Dynamic Love at 53. The Stud Stakes. Accabilk $7.90 and Desert Eagle $8.80. And then over to the other ones that are in commission. These races at Flemington today have been so open. We've had very few short price favourites. I think Viscount and Ustinov were well in the market, but really they've been the only ones. We've been looking at 6, 7 to 1 the field on a few occasions at Flemington today. Accabilk, number 2, favourite on Super Tab $7.90. New South Wales, he'd be favourite 2 at $7.80, and Queensland, fancy $8.20 for the favourite on Queensland. That would be for PlayStation. Get the crowd figure too. I wrote that down here somewhere. 93,029 was a new Derby Day record for Flemington today. They're racing at Flemington.
Derby Day a record, and they're racing in the last. Scenic Warrior walked out of the stalls, and Eutectic was also slow. He settled second last, and first to bounce out Desert Eagle. Matter of Honour heading him off from a wide barrier. Matter of Honour goes to the lead after 200. From St Cecile, Desert Eagle is now in third placing, and they're closely followed by Super Impressive over on the inside with Dynamic Love, followed by Miss Zoe, and then came Make Mine Magic. A length further back is Flavour, and they're trailed then by Scenic Warrior, who's second last coming up towards the turn. And last of all is Make Me a Miracle. Matter of Honour had shot across from the outside gate and leads Dynamic Love. Saint Cecile right behind them on the inside from Desert Eagle. Scenic Peak is deeper out on the yellow blinkers as they corner. Then Super Impressive over on the inside trying to get out. Glen Rowan's behind him. Ackerbilt coming out wide with his run, and then came Make Mine Magic down the outside. At the 250-metre mark now, Matter of Honour is in front. Scenic Peak coming after him down the outside. Ackerbilt with a run. Desert Eagle is putting in the centre. Scenic Peak hit the lead. Desert Eagle goes with him from Super Impressive, who's out late. Scenic Peak, Desert Eagle, 50 to go. Scenic Peak the outside, Desert Eagle, and Scenic Peak wins it ahead to Desert Eagle. Super Impressive third, and they're followed in behind them by One Under, and then PlayStation, Ackerbilt, Glen Rowan, followed by Matter of Honour and Eutectic. Miss Zoe wider out, trailed by Flavour. Real blanket finish, Saint Cecile just behind these. And they were trailed further back in the field then by Make Mine Magic, and towards the tail, Make Me a Miracle, Scenic Warrior and Dynamic Love.
Well, not only did the Queenslanders win the Derby, they won the last as well, with Scenic Peak number 7, Karen McAvoy for Danny Bagua, 6 Desert Eagle, Brett Preble, and 11 Super Impressive was third, Michael Walker. The trifecta, $1,297, 121.03 the run.
In the Salinger, had it have got a run, it didn't. He took the other softer option, although a very, very strong race. Outstanding training performance, nice, comfortable ride by Karen McAvoy. Desert Eagle tried hard, and Super Impressive, well, he had a bit more luck yesterday, and he's a horse that I think will win soon.
Well, Scenic Peak, the get-out horse of the day, arguably. What about the run of Matter of Honour? I thought he might have been a bit closer in the finish, given the leader's bias yesterday.
Joe, I think we identified the improvement in Matter of Honour back 2 starts back at Caulfield. He showed good improvement. He's levelled out now. I've sacked him. But Scenic Peak, I'll tell you what, I'm glad it won because the Westgate was looking good.
I've sacked him as well. I've been tipping him Matter of Honour, but I thought it was a great day for...
Not always, but in the last 20 years I've decided always the best Melbourne Cup form is Caulfield Cup form. I think Richard Friedman agrees with me on that. I think the best runs in the Caulfield Cup were Ethereal, Sky Heights and In a Flurry. In a Flurry went right around the field. The ride of Jim Cassidy's been well documented and still held on to run 6. She then came out and I think performed most creditably yesterday in the McKinnon, and she's right up there at the top of my thoughts from Sky Heights, the other big Caulfield Cup run.
Yep. Okay. Well, Richard made the point that Rain Gauge has yet to do much at Flemington, and that's true. But Rain Gauge is a genuine star, in form at the right time. Donkey licked his rivals at Moonee Valley and included in them. Rich?
I'm going to go with Ethereal. I think Ethereal's got the form on the board, the right preparation, everything going the right way with her. Hill of Grace, I think, is a great chance, and so is May the Horse Be With You, because they're in good form, and I'll stick with them. I know favourites don't win too often, Graham, but I'll stick with a favourite.
Hey, Subby, we'll come back and get a tip.
Quite confusing this time on Sunday morning, but I think Sky Heights, I thought after he got beaten in the Caulfield Cup, avoiding a penalty, it's always a good guy to the Melbourne Cup. He can stay, and he got the service of Damien Oliver, and I think that'll be hard, right in the finish. Big Pat's another one, and Ethanol, the horse that won the Caulfield Cup's not too bad. He waited even with the penalty.
Serial.
They're my 3.
By the way, I haven't given a tip. Mine's Big Pat, Marion Barr, but more importantly, it's time.
Universal Prince. Nope. What about Freemason? Nope. Ethereal? There you go. How much do you want on it?
Isn't he right now? There you go. Glad to see me, are you? Okay. You right? On top at 6. Big Pat 7. Universal Prince 9. Sky Heights at 11. Rain Gauge 6 with Rum. May the Horse Be With You there. Then Give the Slip. 31. Freemason Caetano. And then Spirit of Westbury.
Cup Eve drama and a decision on whether one-time favourite Universal Prince will run in tomorrow's big race won't be made until tomorrow morning. The VRC's chief vet has ruled the 4-year-old is lame, but trainer Beat Murray believes the horse is fit to run.
In the 140-year history of the Melbourne Cup, there hasn't been a morning like this. Universal Prince tried to prove his fitness Bede Murray pleading for his galloper to be allowed to run, and tens of millions of dollars hanging in the balance. In the end, the one-time overwhelming Cup favourite earned a stay of execution.
But in fairness to the connections, we've delayed making a decision until a further veterinary examination at 7 o'clock in the morning. But the horse must be considered highly unlikely at this stage, bearing in mind the veterinary report that we have received.
The horse is as lame as it was on Saturday. What the hell are we waiting for?
For the second night in a row, Universal Prince...
If he's got any doubts about the horse at all, I said, well, we won't want to run him.
The uncertainty left Cup betting in chaos.
I don't think Universal Prince should be part of the field. I'd like to ask the question, should he be in and wins tomorrow? Punters will be disappointed. If he's in, runs last, punters again will be disappointed.
Now everyone just waits. Have been buoyed this afternoon by the arrival of Bede Murray's son, Paul. Now he's the man who's been described as knowing this horse best. He inspected the horse at Flemington this afternoon and has advised his father to push on with trying to gain a start in the Melbourne Cup. He declared that the horse isn't lame and this is a problem that the horse has had previously and it hasn't affected his racing. So they won't voluntarily scratch Universal Prince, if you will. They'll go to verdict with the stewards at 7 a.m. in the morning. Prince. Now, you would have thought that no sane person would be investing their money on this horse just at the moment. Well, you'd be wrong, because at the traditional call of the card, Universal Prince has been sensationally backed to win another $800,000. And Jen, that adds another intriguing element to this remarkable build-up to the 2001 Melbourne Cup. It's stifled since this saga began. The bookies agreed unprecedentedly to offer a refund to punters who back at Universal Prince. And did they take advantage? At the $17 on offer, and this horse was $3.50 10 days ago, he was back to win a staggering $800,000. And it left bookmakers, particularly Michael Iskander, fed up with the whole saga. Of the card, this is how they've been lined up by bookmakers. The Caulfield Cup Quinella of Sky Heights and Ethereal at $7. Both were back for a stack. Sky Heights for $700,000. Rain Gauge $8. Big Pat $9. Persian.
The locals, I'm going Sky Heights on top from Rain Gauge and Big Pat.
And your best outsider?
Best outsider is the Yipster, Yippee-I-O.
Richard?
My top three, I'm tipping with the Great Britain horse Persian Punch. Third last time out here. I think it'll be first this time. From number 2, Sky Heights. And the coat puller I fell for number 19, May the Horse Be With You. I think the best roughie is Spirit of Westbury, Shane Dye's Mount.
Well, my trifecta, Sky Heights to beat Ethereal and Celestial Show. And if that sounds familiar, it's the same trifecta from the Caulfield Cup. Boys, it's a long day. It starts at 10:30.
And what do you think? Horses. 13. The horse is 101%.
What are they saying is wrong with the horse?
They reckon he's lame in the back leg. He's offside back.
And that's the gait that you know him to have for the 4 years of his life.
The horse's action is normal, totally normal.
How can they make that assessment when they actually really can't seem to determine what's wrong with the actual horse?
Well, that's what I said. I said, you guys haven't laid a hand on this horse. And I said, come back to the stable, diagnose where the problem is. I want to know. I know there's no problem.
Where are they saying the problem is?
In his back leg, offside back.
And they pointed it out to you, or?
No, they just said he's lame in his offside back leg.
How frustrating is that? I mean,
that's how to explain it, you know.
Can you put it into words?
No.
What about you? I mean, you've been a trainer for so long. Just in terms of disappointment, it wouldn't get any more gutting than this.
Nothing worse.
You feel like packing up food and not coming back?
Oh, no.
An obviously upset Bede Murray reacting to the news this morning that Universal Prince is out of the Tui's new Melbourne Cup. Well, we've got a big...
Interesting to see the ratings here, where the imported number 6, Marion Bard, is the top rater. It's rated 3 points ahead of number 2, Sky Heights, 8, Yippee-I-O, and $16, Sky Heights at $6.40. Catano at 54, Give the Slip at 43 to stablemate Marion Bard. It's at $23. The Rain is not going. Master Express 64, Ethereal Caulfield Cup winners at $10. Hill of Grace runner-up in Saturday's McKinnon. It's at 20. In a flurry 33 of Westbury. It's at 15. Rain Gauge at $7.60, winner of the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. Rum is at 70.
There was some talk that Carpstad Way was going to come out after all of these discussions. So stand by. The warning siren, and we are about to find out. Carpstadway is out. Well, I don't think that is unexpected whatsoever. The horse is just not good in this sort of going, and trainer Chris Wood has decided not to start the horse. Jen, I think that's probably a pretty wise move not to run the horse.
And then
was 570, Sky Heights the favourite. 8 Yippee-Yo at $15, Freemason at 36. Number 10, Curata Storm at big odds. $10 for the Caulfield Cup winner, number 13, Ethereal. $20, Hill of Grace. $10 for Big Pat, number 16, the only grey in the race. Karasi, 36. May the Horse Be With You at 41. Rain Gauge at $7.50. Celestial Show, 24. Let's go to Tim Gossage in the betting ring.
Good on you, Dan. Best back runner, Sky Heights. It'll jump the Cup favourite. Best back late, Rain Gauge. Only 200 double figures. Big money for Yippee-Yo and Freemason at big odds. But Sky Heights and Damien Oliver will jump a clear cut favourite.
2001. Racing in the Cup. Freemason from the outside stall jumped away well. So too did Pastor Express near the inside with Prophet's Kiss and also Rum. Spirit of Westbury, May the Horse Be With You, Celestial Show, they're all handy in the early part of the race. As is Give the Slip, he's going up in search of the lead. Wider out was Hill of Grace, and Freemason will be forward in the early part. Karasi handy as well. Rain Gauge drifting back end wide. Marion Bard is the widest runner. Sky Heights is last as they run onto the course proper the first time. Give the Slip in front of Celestial Show, and Freemason in the Cerise colours is working its way up to second. Karasi fourth around Hill of Grace, and on the inside Pastor Express. Marion Bard improving, but it must be 5 wide. Getting past Persian Punch, Ethereal, Spirit of Westbury and Rum over on the right. Away the great Big Pat fourth last. On the inside of Yippee-Yo, then Mr. Prudent, and the favourite Sky Heights is last and 15 lengths off the lead. 1,500 to go. Give the Slip by 2 lengths to Freemason. Third, Celestial Show's had the box seat run so far. 3 wide Persian Punch has had to do it real tough with a big weight. Then in 5th position, Karasi. 1.5 lengths to Marion Bard. It's also been racing wide. On the rails, Pastor Express has had a nice run. 1 length away, the mare Hill of Grace. Then came the Caulfield Cup winner, Ethereal. Rum about midfield on the rails. 1 length away, Spirit of Westbury. Then Prophet's Kiss, May the Horse Be With You. Curata Storm's been wide. Then came nearer the inside, May the Horse Be With You. Getting past it now was Caetano from In a Flurry. Then came Rain Gauge about 15 lengths off the lead. Curata Storm is gone. It's been passed by Big Pat Reenact. Also Yippee-Yo, Sky Heights a long way from them. Then Mr. Prudent as Curata Storm dropped out. About 700 left to travel. And Give the Slip by a length to Persian Punch. 3 lengths away, Karasi, Celestial Storm. Ethereal runs on from Marion Bard, hard-ridden, and they were followed back in the field by May the Horse Be With You as they round the home turn. They've got about 500 left to travel, and Give the Slip led into the straight. 2 lengths away, Persian Punch. Then Caetano into the clear, Karasi. Ethereal, Celestial Show, then Marion Bard. Further back to May the Horse Be With You. Give the Slip in front. 4 lengths to the mare, Ethereal giving chase. Then Persian Punch. Further back to May the Horse Be With You. The leader, Give the Slip. Ethereal's coming hard on the outside. The New Zealand mare. Ethereal after Give the Slip. Ethereal hit the lead in the Cup. Ethereal takes the Caulfield Melbourne Cup double. Ethereal and Scott Cena have beaten Give the Slip. 6 lengths away, Persian Punch, an almighty run. Then came Karasi. Sky Heights, Rain Gauge, May the Horse Be With You, Marion Bard. Next in Reenact, and then Mr. Prudent, followed by Prophet's Kiss, In a Flurry, Celestial Show, Rum. Caetano dropped out of it from Freemason, and then Spirit of Westbury, Yippee-Yo, Big Fat, and towards the back was Pastor Express. And we lost one along the way. Losing the rider was Hill of Grace just up near the home turn.
Mason is third, and then Celestial Show, Karasi. Marion Bard is making ground round the outside, and here comes the Caulfield Cup winner, Ethereal, followed by Caetano. May the Horse Be With You is making ground, and then Hill of Grace. In a Flurry's hooked to the outside and coming with a run, and then came Rum. Oh, one's lost the rider back in the field. There was one down coming around the home turn. We'll pick that one up later. Into the straight, it's Give the Slip, the leader from Persian Punch, Celestial Show, Karasi. Ethereal taken to the outside, and then Marion Bard and Caetano. 300 left to go. Give the Slip over on the inside, the leader from Persian Punch. Here comes Ethereal down the outside, followed by Karasi, and then May the Horse Be With You. Give the Slip well clear at the 200-metre mark, though. Down the outside is Ethereal. Ethereal starting to close. Give the slip with Ethereal coming home. Give the slip in front. Ethereal's coming hard. The Caulfield Cup winners grab the lead, and Ethereal does the double. Ethereal's won it from Give the Slip. 6 lengths Persian Punch, third again from Karazi, Rain Gauge, and then May the Horse Be With You. Sky Heights from Wellington.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
What a wonderful, wonderful feeling, and did you guys go berserk?
We did. It's a hell of a thrill, and I've been in Melbourne now for 3 or 4 days, and everywhere you go it's Melbourne Cup, and the pressure builds and builds and builds, and I'm delighted it's over, and I'm thrilled with the result.
Congratulations. Enjoy the moment.
Thanks a lot.
First Tuesday in November, after making a little bit of history. Well done. Congratulations. What about that?
It was all right, wasn't it? Isn't she super?
I think she's super, and I bet you do too. What about Sheila when Give the Slip race 5 in front of the 300-metre mark? Did you think you could catch her?
Oh, I thought she was struggling a bit, and then suddenly when she straightened up and started to kick, oh, that was massive. That was massive.
How have you coped with all of the pressure that's been on you since the Caulfield Cup? That smile never leaves your face. I don't think it will for a while now.
Not for a while. No, it's been wonderful. I've loved being over here, and you guys have been really good, so...
And you love the mare too.
Yeah, I do, very much, very much.
You're going to remember this moment for the rest.
Yeah, one of the top, best ever horse I've been on, and probably one of the best fillies, you know, to race in the both cups.
Scotty, a year ago you were at where, Ballina?
Yeah, I ride in Brisbane, but I live at Ballina, and hope they enjoy it as much as I do today.
Now, what if someone had said to you, you're going to win the Caulfield Melbourne Cup double in the year 2001?
Oh, I would have told them in a few other words too that I'm mad.
Scotty, this is opening doors to the world.
We anticipate every year. The first Tuesday in November, it's Flemington. It's the biggest stage in Australian racing. And Scott Seamer is about to enjoy it, but there is a bit of drama. This actually happened with Larry Cassidy aboard Arena when he came back after the Derby a couple of years ago. And this mare has just been spooked a little by the crowd. And Scott Seamer looks as though in stages. We haven't seen too many jockeys linked to the scales at Flemington on the first Tuesday in November. And you can see the pain etched on his face at present. It won't be there for too long, I don't think. Scott Seamer has the skull cap and the whip handed back to him, and he is in...
Thank you very much. Well, they left the money in the bag with Sky Heights and also, of course, Rain Gauge late. Ethereal in doubles, Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup doubles, not a good result for a lot of doubles bookmakers. They were bleeding, in fact. About 5 minutes ago when I saw them, they were counting the costs. But today, Ethereal was a bit of a drifter in the ring. And one of the leading rails bookmakers, Ray Swanee, wants to send a message to his wife, Joy. He said he'll buy the Chinese. It was a great result for him.
Marion Bard, Sky Heights reenact Prophet's Kiss, Mr. Prudent, Cotano, Rum, Freemason, Spirit of Westbury, Yippee-I-O, Big Pap, Pastor Express, Hill of Grace, Curator Storm, and
Never to win a Melbourne Cup, Sheila Laxon. Good luck to her as well. Give the Slip second, Persian Punch third. Obviously, Breakfast with the Stars, she gave this horse a very hard hit out. She believed the horse had put on about 15 kilos since the Caulfield Cup win. And
until a week after it won the Caulfield Cup, now joins names like Might and Power, Doremus and Let's Elope as the 11th horse to complete the Cup's double. There is one conversation this day which will go down in Melbourne Cup folklore, and it is when Peter Vella, the owner of Ethereal, sought out the advice of former champion jockey Brent Thompson. His intention after the 4th race was to scratch the mare as the track continued to deteriorate. It was downgraded to slow, and he feared running on a heavy track. Brent Thompson went and spoke with Scott Seamer, who rode the mighty mare to victory, and he just said no way, she must go round. The track, while worse than the Caulfield Cup, was still clearly raceable on, and what a decision that has proved to be. There's another great story, well, one we'll talk about for a while. The import Give the Slip from the mighty Godolphin stable. The question being asked all afternoon is Richard Hills, the jockey, stuck firm to the rail, which was clearly the worst ground all day and only got run over in the last 100 metres. There will be questions about that for a long time. Carpstad Way, who was right in the market the whole way through the Melbourne Cup.
You know, that certainly worked.
Sheila, thank you very much. Scott Seamer's ride, you were pointing out when we were watching the race there, about, interesting to note something about the, I think it was about the 450 as they came around the home turn when Give them the Slip did just that.
Graham, watch him here at the top of the straight. Here he is on the outside in the white and dark blue colours. He hasn't moved yet. He's sitting there like a block of ice. Now he goes. I've got to say that many jockeys would have been trigger happy long before Scott Seamer got busy on a theory. It is a Melbourne Cup. The jockey's chop is huge. You know, how could he resist giving her a dig in the ribs much sooner than he did?
I don't know. I think he was, if he could see give the slip, well, he mightn't have been able to see him, but if he could see give the slip on the rail, I think he thought he had everything covered at that stage and he didn't need to put the pedal down. But when give the slip kicked and got put another 2 lengths on them fairly quickly, I think then the pedal went down. He had to chase then, and I just think he thought he had the ones around him beaten for a long time. It was a beautiful, cool ride, no doubt. No doubt. And you know what? Sheila Laxton, officially the first lady to train a Melbourne Cup winner, but unofficially.
Melbourne Cup, and that, of course, was surrounding Universal Prince. Would it start? Wouldn't? Would it not? And, of course, the big decision was made at around 7 a.m. on Cup morning. Horrendous occasion, of course, for a trainer, and a very emotional occasion for the trainer.
Well, it was a very tough time, you know. It was tougher to me because, you know, I always felt in my own heart that there was nothing wrong with the horse, and I'm quite positive there is still. There's nothing wrong with the horse. He's worked every day. He's never missed any work whatsoever. And, you know, I want to run him in the Sandown Classic next Saturday, but I've only been speaking with Mr. Gleeson this morning, and he still has to pass their vets. They are requesting a few things that I'm not satisfied with. They want to bone scan him, and I spoke to Jonathan Lumsden here today, and he said, no way in the world, it's not necessary. So
on record that have weird and extraordinary actions
Richard can
that
expand
look
on that.
lame.
Many horses that you trained over the years couldn't trot a yard.
Yeah, Scalacci was a terrible mover. At the slow paces, at trots and walks and that sort of thing, Doremus used to move like an old hobbled duck, and you know he was terrible at the walk and the trot. But when he started to flow, then his stride smoothed out, and maybe this horse is just the same. Who knows?
I mean, in all honesty, Bede Murray being the horseman that he is, do you really think that he would run the horse in the Melbourne Cup if the horse wasn't right? No credibility has been given to him whatsoever through this entire situation.
He absolutely loves this horse. This horse means more to Bede than any horse he's ever put a bridle on. He's not going to hurt him.
But you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, too, aren't you? Because
stewards are in a very difficult position, aren't they,
look on their side. Yeah. I mean, and if something did go wrong in the race, well,
they could be liable.
They'd shoot the stewards. Well, yes, they could be liable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very tough. I know it's a discussion you've certainly been hosting. As for the Oaks, 10 of the runners come through Saturday's Wakeful, so let's have a look at the finish.
The safest each-way bet is number 4, Lilo Lil, to beat number 3, Keys, and for third, number 5, Gold Lottie.
He's singing ring-a-ding-ding, the pumper is king. I think the danger's number 2, Magical Miss from Bart Cummings stable, and number 4, Lilo Lil. I think the best bet of the day comes up.
Number 5, Gold Lottie, to beat number 2, Magical Miss, and number 10, Bookmaker. He is lining the field up like this. Magical Miss is a $4 favourite. Keys at $7, Gold Lottie $7.50, Lilo Lil at $8.
Phil Lady in 1991, the Oaks, he's won 8 all up. Shooting for his 8th, I should say. Today he's won 7 all up. Keys, though, tops the rating. It's ahead of Magical Miss, Lilo Lil, and the Scott Seamer ride, Menang, 3 from 2, 4 and 10. Here's the check of the betting market. Magical Miss, similar quotes around the country. Keys, best value is clearly Super Tab, compared to which New South Wales. Tully Thunder, the pumpers right at $9.40. Down to Warm Smitzer, who won the Oaks trial at Geelongwell, $20. And
Fake Price Ugachaka, number 6, 7 is Hot Beat at 52, 8 Paladama 72, 9 is Edging Out at 52, 16 for Menang, 9 Tully Thunder, 83 Carter King.
Betting ring for a last-minute update. Any action, Tim Gossage?
Years beat Magical Miss, $3.30 on the tote, much shorter in the ring. They're coming late for Magical Miss, been favoured throughout betting. It is now very close. It's a clear-cut favourite, a hot favourite to win it, Pete.
Out for the favourite. Racing in the Oaks. Tully Thunder missed it a little bit. Gold Lottie likewise missed the start, and Hot Beat, they're out towards the tail, and Menang has to be ridden along a little bit. It was a little slow nearer the inside. Magical Miss, one of the first out. Probably a bit of a surprise as Warm Smitzer goes up in search of the lead, and Lilo Lil was there as well. From Just a Believer, Magical Miss is going to box seat here, third on the rails. One more forward today. It's fifth on the outside of Carter Keys. Paladama ridden forward, 4 deep, but it's going up to Hot Beat, and Gold Lottie taking closer order, but it's still last at the 1,000, and it does 7 lengths from the leader, which is Paladama, one of the bolters, and giving a bold sight. It led 3 lengths on Warm Smitzer, a length away Lilo Lil, then Just a Believer, next is Magical Miss, a length away Uga Chaka, 3 lengths away Carla Keys and Wanmo, about 2.5 away Keys, and then came Princess to Here from Precious Lass, Tully Thunder. Hot Beat well back with edging out nearing the home turn. Well back was Menang on the rails, Gold Lottie going to the outside. About 500 left to travel. Paladama hard up on the rails, the leader from Warm Smitzer and Lilo Lil. Then Magical Miss now easing to the outside. Next Uga Chaka, followed by Keys. Paladama at the 400, 2 lengths in front, but coming after it, Magical Miss very quickly. Keys down the outside. Carla Keys runs on. The favourite went to the lead, Magical Miss. From Keys, Lilo Lil, then Menang, Hot Beat, Tully Thunder. Magical Miss has burst away. Here's another one for Bart Cummings coming up. Stephen Arnold, the favourites home and hose. Magical Miss is going to bolt the Oaks in. Magical Miss has won at 5 lengths, nearly a dead heat second. Menang and Lilo Lil, then Carla Keys from Keys. Next in Wanmo, Hot Beat, Tully Thunder, Uga Chaka. Next in edging out, then Gold Lottie. Further back to Warm Smitzer, Precious Lass, Paladama, Princess to Here and Just to Here and Just a Believer.
Well, she put a space in them, Dan. Beautiful ride.
In behind them, Lilo Lil. Uga Chaka taken to the outside of Just a Believer. Magical Miss has got into the clear. Here she comes with her run, and Keys has pulled to the extreme outside. In the straight at the 400, and Magical Miss is sprinting out boldly, and she's raced to the lead with Lilo Lil. Wider out is Carla Keys. The deepest is Keys from Uga Chaka. At the 200, though, and Arnold's gone for home on the favourite, Magical Miss. She's raced out by 3, Lilo Lil. Menang and then Carla Keys and Keys, but all Magical Miss. Oh, she's going to bolt in the Crown Oaks, and Magical Miss won it by 5 lengths. Either Menang or Lilo Lil for the Miners from Carla Keys and then Keys, followed by Wanmo and Hot Beat back by...
It was a great win. She's obviously a very good filly with a tremendous future. It was a pretty good win.
Looking at the way she came into the yard today, she was pretty close to 100%.
Well, you don't get a filly looking any better than her. She's got a great conformation, tremendous hind quarter, and very well balanced, and got a great stride and good action. So to train, she's foolproof. She eats like a draft horse, and she performs like a champion.
Maybe a Cups horse next year?
I would think so. I think she'll be a Wade Fraser horse next year.
Brilliant ride by Stephen Arnold too.
He rides well, the boy.
It certainly does. Had her in
when
the...
you let her out at the 200 metres, wasn't it just a little shut the gate?
Yeah, that's right. You know, she travelled good and she had a real good turn of acceleration when I asked her to, and she was really strong on the line.
And last time out, Steve, she never had a lot of luck, did she? But her splits home here in the Wakefield were exceptional, weren't they?
Good run on a hard track from the outside gate with top weight.
How far can she go?
Oh, yeah, you know, she'll go on. She stays good, and she's a beautiful type of filly, so, you know, she's got a big future.
Bart Cummings recording Oaks win number 8, Stephen Arnold. What a spring. He won 1,000 guineas aboard this filly, and now he takes the Oaks. A one-horse race. They ran 2:34.77. And for Stephen Arnold, what a special moment.
By God, can you imagine this time next year when we've got the Caulfield Cups, Melbourne Cups coming around? What do you reckon?
She's top class, isn't she?
Yeah, she's very talented, that filly. I mean, to do what she did in the 1,000 guineas and then turn around in the Oaks at well, nearly 1,000 metres further, and do it to them again. And she won by 5 lengths. I mean, the fillies, you can't ever see the fillies behind her beating her at level weight.
No.
So it's going to be a lot of fun training Magical Miss, I can tell you.
Keith, equally impressed?
Oh, absolutely, and it was evident, wasn't it, with that dominant win, the most impressive of the Spring Carnival at Group 1 level, that her defeat of Ha Ha in the 1,000 guineas was no fluke as well. She will go on for sure. She's a super filly. Incidentally, I forgot to mention...
Flemington, this is one of the most important races today. The ratings with North Boy, and that's Northerly's half-brother, to beat Falvel on home. Point Danger and Keeper, 10, 1, 7 and 6. Runners are parading. And North Boy's Dam North Bell, it was announced today, has finally gone back in foal. The mare has not had a foal since North Boy. You'll see him over the page. The Golden Slipper winner, Belle de Jour, short in New South Wales. Much better odds New South Wales, North Boy at 580, 540 in Queensland. Still plenty of time to get your bets on. Falvel on the well-tried Elect, now into 340. Keeper $6.20, $7.20 on the Queensland Tote for the Goodwood Handicap winner, who's bound for a stud career, the son of Danehill. To $8. North Boy has these. There's been money for Fair Embrace, $15 into $11 for this Group 2 Weight for Age test, and the runners are moving into line. 30 for Falvalon in from 370. New South Wales 290 for Falvalon, 250 on the Queensland tote.
Racing, and Falvalon began okay in the middle of the line. Alongside him, Sports and Sedation. Fair Embrace got out fast. So did Bomber Bill, and Point Danger shows a ton of dash on the outside. Belle de Jour is settling towards the end. North Boy's away very quickly. Sports on his outside, and close up Point Danger on the rails. Falvalon right behind them from Pot on Flyer. Bomber Bill with the fets. North Boy working up but close to the middle of the course. Keeper right behind him. Belle de Jour's in behind that bunch of horses. And Sedation were the last with Notoire at the tail. They're heading towards the 400 metres. It's Fair Embrace. Point Danger the rails. Sports is the widest. Followed by North Boy, who's under the whip. Falvalon getting into the clear. Then Point Danger and Belle de Jour. Keeper is right over in the middle of the course. Right across the track at the 200 metres. Fair Embrace from Sports. Falvalon sees daylight. Belle de Jour comes with him. At the clock tower now. Falvalon hit the lead. Belle de Jour trying hard. Falvalon from Belle de Jour. Falvalon in front. Belle de Jour is picking him back. They go to the line. Maybe Belle de Jour knows Falvalon. Close photo. Sedation has run on well for third from Pot on Flyer, Fair Embrace, Sports, and then Bomber Bill. Break behind those two. Notoire Keeper never came into it. Point Danger and North Boy was one of the first beaten. Photo finish here. Could go either way.
Could go maybe Belle de Jour's way, according to Greg Miles. Third is Sedation, which will pay $12.10 for third. Awaiting first and second to be confirmed. Now, the slow-mo as they near the line, the glamour boy of sprinting, challenged by the glamour girl of her juvenile brigade. Belle de Jour on the inside, Patrick Payne and Falvalon Damien Oliver. Two of the best riders you'll see. And placings have come up as 8, 1 and 5. Belle de Jour has paid $8, $2.30. Falvalon denied. Winning time was 1:08.87. 1:08.87. Now the head-on...
plate is only 2 minutes away. And long odds on Bel Esprit. Second pick at $7.40 is number 1 Wyndham Glory, jointly with number 5 Kuzi, and then Nessuno at $9.80. They're the only ones under double figures. Nearly 280,000 here in the pool. Well, Bel Esprit has had one start for one brilliant win at Moonee Valley 2 weeks ago, when he won a listed race by a big margin, won by 4 lengths, and he looks to be just a natural runner. He's by Royal Academy, out of a mare by Vane, and is ridden by...
And see how he marked them.
I like the two, Peter. Bel Esprit, it looks fantastic. Beautiful looking colt by Royal Academy. Draw an 8, I think, won't do.
Racing, Bel Esprit jumped away pretty well. He's closest to the outside rail, and they're all going to go across there. But it's Bel Esprit, and going out pretty quickly is Royal Hero, the first starter. And also up there with them is Woodward, goes up to about 4th. 600 metres to travel. Bel Esprit on the inside of Royal Heroes in the middle, and Wyndham Glory. Then came Riona. Trying to get through was Nasuno from Kazi Ematella, and 3 or 4 lengths to Bowenjerry Sunrise. Ematella ran into bother there, as dropping out of it was Riona, but it's Bel Esprit 2 lengths in front. Kazi's made good ground. It goes to second with Nasuno giving chase. 200 to go though, and it's Bel Esprit about 2.5 lengths in front of Kazi, Nasuno. Then came Wyndham Glory, but Bel Esprit is going to make it 2 out of 2. Trelaw riding him comfortably to the post, till ease him down, wins at 5 lengths. Got a huge future, this fellow. Bel Esprit, the winner. Second home, Nasuno. Third, Kazi. They came right away from Wyndham Glory, Barrenjoey Sunrise. Ematella had a little luck. It should have finished a lot closer than Riona, and Royal Hero dropped out of it. It finished last, the time 57 seconds.
Yeah, what a beautiful horse, and well, he did what we thought he would, Dan. He's a lovely horse. He's been well educated.
Well, look, I mean, I've been away, and look, all the accolades really should go to Masson Lodge. I mean, they've picked a horse for the group of people with Michael Duffy and that, and look, I mean, that's the first time I've seen him run. As I said, I missed the first race in Cox Plate Day, and for that to get up and perform, I think it's won by about 4 or 5 lengths, so really pleasing for, and the kids. I've got some kids here to come along today to have a look.
Yeah, well, so how do you feel as an owner being here during the Melbourne Cup Carnival and seeing your horse win?
Well, it's really pleasing. I mean, I've always liked the races. My grandmother...
Melbourne jockeys. He used to ride a great mare, of course, Trish Stark. He won an AJC Derby on Trish Stark. And
obviously, there's a lot of good ones haven't come out yet, but I suppose we've shown our hand, but he's a nice horse.
Yeah.
But 9,000 we've... Oh. Yeah. Geez, I mean, to have the likes of Kevin Sheedy paying out $1,500 in a group of them, to pay 9,000, it doesn't seem much now, does it?
I certainly spoiled them, didn't I?
You did. I think you'll get them back.
Yeah, I think so.
Tell us.
Her winning campaign.
Real stayed there, and Sheila Laxon raved about the effort.
Isn't it good to see Smokey Trelaw on a good one?
He hasn't been on a good 2-year-old probably since Courts Up.
Well, he was quoted, and I think I'm right in saying this, Keith, yesterday, that that's the best he's been on since Courts, or better than Courts and Impazira as 2-year-olds.
Yes, he did say that, Shadow. In fact, that was Smokey.
Flemington Sky ratings on race 3 as follows: Tickle My 100, Altiero 93, Calm Schmeitzer 90, and Dame Kath 90. Next at Flemington, you'll see the replay about 3 minutes after the race is run. Darren Beedman's mount, Tickle My at $5.90, Altiero $12, Calm Schmeitzer $4.10, Miss Zoe at $15, and Piper Star 8. Andrella 11 is out, Dame Kath at 23, Sylvana 13, Be My Prince Schmeitzer ahead of Tickle My, Oregon Seal and Tyrolean. They're the only 4.
Racing, fairly good line. Altiero just dug up a little bit after the start to keep in touch with him. Deaconess and Tyrolean are going to drift back. Jumping well, Piper Star with Andrella and also Gone. And Sylvana's racing forward and Miss Zoe wider out. Regal Touch is handy as well. Calm Schmeitzer's about 7th over on the inside. Altiero about a half a length in front. Second is Sylvana, 2 lengths away, Regal Touch on the outside of Piper Star. Miss Zoe has been trapped 3 wide throughout. It's on the outside of Gone. Calm Schmeitzer's had a cheaper run, then Tickle My outside Altiero. About 2 lengths away, Dame Kath as they near the home turn. Then It's Not Easy from Yuma Line. And then Oregon Seal, Deaconess, Be My Princess is back at the tail with Tyrolean, but about 10 lengths off the lead. Rounding the bend, 600 to go. Andrella just led Sylvana. Regal Touch is going up 3 deep. Miss Zoe's never been on the track. Gone there. So's Calm Schmeitzer looking for a run. And they were followed by Piper Star, Dame Kath and Altiero. Regal Touch and the hard riding goes up to narrowly hit the lead, but the challengers are coming. Tickle My's into the clear, and so too is Yuma Line with a big run. Calm Schmeitzer can't get a crack at them at the moment. Regal Touch grabbed by Tickle My. Yuma Line on the outside, and then Sylvana. Calm Schmeitzer trying to get through. Piper Star got the run. Piper Star up along the inside, hit the lead. Coming after it, Tickle My on the outside, Yuma Line. Piper Star gets the run though, and gets the money. Piper Star has won it from either Yuma Line or Tickle My, and close up Sylvana. Calm Schmeitzer was unlucky, never really got a crack at them. Altiero close up, Miss Zoe did it tough, but it battled on pretty well. And then Oregon Seal. Next home was Deaconess. Late making ground with both Tyrolean and It's Not Easy. Further back, Regal Touch with Weekend, which Be My Princess Gone, and Andrella knocked up, so did Dame Kath.
Well, now that's the boy who rode Celestial Show in the Melbourne Cup and gave her every possible hope too. Piper Star, $21 and $7. Yuma Line, $7.90. Tickle My, $2.40. 200.
Is the Emirates Stakes. Over a mile, a capacity field, a remarkably even field, and Alan Iskander has the job of framing the markets.
Thanks for that, Jared. Well, your viewers will be happy to know the bookies are now doing their money after Thursday, and the Emirates Stakes doesn't look very much easier for us. This is how I've lined them up. I've made Crawl at $8 chance, equal favourite with Higher at $8. Emission is $9 with Damien Oliver on board. La Bella Dama is $9. Defire is $11, and Show a Heart $12. Las Vegas Letter at $15. Arca Bilk at $17. Lord Essex at $21.
Before he's had no luck, nor has his trainer. I think he can turn it around. From number 5, Higher, a horse who's haunted me for the last 2 years, but I think he can really put it forward today.
To win Weasel Will to do exactly what it did last year, win the Waterford and then run second, and for third market price. But I tell you, if it does rain during the day, I'll be throwing La Zagaleta in as well. After the break...
The tradition that it's we get a bit of a bucketing. We got one a couple of years ago.
Whoa!
And I think you might go and stand in the shelter, Kat. Hello there.
It's really not very nice.
No, it's not very nice.
And top rater La Zagaleta 100 ahead of Umrum 97, Mr. Murphy 97, and La Bella Dama 97. Here's the full market on a terrific race. Group 1, Scratch Show a Heart. Umrum 17, Mr. Murphy 23, Crawl 9.20, Higher 7.80, La Zagaleta $10, Weasel Will 9.60, and Final Fantasy at $23. La Bella Dama 9.60, Emission 4.70, 22 Acker Bilk $10 Defire, 44 Flavour, 1 for number 18 Desert Eagle. Let's.
Odds have been back well at 12 Ackerbilk, and down the bottom 16 Mr Bureaucrat. It's almost double each way odds. It's a very open race. Mission and Crawl may jump equal favourites, but the best back late has certainly been 16 Mr Bureaucrat at each way odds.
So money for plenty of them here in the Emirates Stakes, 1,600
for number 4 Crawl, $8.30 for number 5 Higher, $10 for number 7 Weasel Will. The holds better than $1.1 million. $10 La Bella Dama, $5.40 a Mission, $8.60 for number. Okay, connections away.
Now racing, jumping well, Desert Eagle. Umram got the best of the start from gate number 2. A Final Fantasy right up there early with Lord Essex and Mr Murphy, and La Bella Dama from a wider draw is moving across the face of the field to take up the running. Final Fantasy may have got a little bit tightened up there. It's back to about 8th at the moment. Over on the inside will roll in front, leading Lord Essex up to 3rd Mr Murphy, and then 4th Desert Eagle, a length away Umram. Next is Higher. He's close as the speed slackens right off here mid-stage. Then Ackerbilk, few of the horses starting to pull a bit. Next is Final Fantasy from Flavour, a Mission, Weasel Will, Defier. Then La Zagaletta, Crawl second last, and 2 lengths to Mr Bureaucrat. As they round the turn, 700 to travel, La Bella Dama in front of Lord Essex and Mr Murphy. Desert Eagle is poised right behind them 4th, and then came Umram. Next is Higher from Flavour, Ackerbilk nearer the inside, and then Final Fantasy and a Mission. Well back La Zagaletta nearer the rails from Weasel Will. Then came Defier and Crawl into the straight though. La Bella Dama 2 lengths. Desert Eagle gets out, then Lord Essex. Next to Mission, Umram down the outside. Higher, then came Ackerbilk. La Bella Dama trying to do it again, but Desert Eagle's issuing the challenge. La Zagaletta's making up good ground. A Mission down the outside. La Bella Dama and Desert Eagle from La Zagaletta. Flying a Mission. Ollie trying to lift a Mission. Desert Eagle in front. Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle a half ahead of Mission. Third's close, La Bella Dama, and on the inside, La Zagaletta. Then Defier. Next in was Crawl. Further back to Final Fantasy. Then Mr Bureaucrat. From Ackerbilk, Umram. Higher. Then came Lord Essex and Flavour, and Mr Murphy got tired and ends up at the tail of the field.
As they flatten for the run home, and then Ackerbilk. Back behind them is Final Fantasy and a Mission trying to pick his way through the field. Coming towards the 400-metre mark, and La Bella Dama slipped away. She's over 2 lengths to Desert Eagle. Lord Essex is running on down the outside, and then a Mission trying to get into the clear, and Umram coming, and down the outside is Higher. At the 150-metre mark now, La Bella Dama in front. Desert Eagle coming at it. Desert Eagle getting to the lead now. A Mission flying home. Desert Eagle, a Mission coming hard. Desert Eagle won it ahead to a Mission. Fado 3rd, La Zagaletta or La Bella Dama. Closely followed in by Final Fantasy, Defier, and then Crawl down the outside and further.
What a season. Yeah, fantastic, Lefty. You know, this horse is emergency and just picked the ride up this morning, so couldn't be happier.
You actually picked the ride up this morning?
Yeah, well, I was on the 3rd emergency and he didn't get a run. And I said to Matty Ellington early this morning about 4:30, hope you haven't got a rider for that horse.
Did you, in a $500,000 race, you pick up the winning ride in the morning of the race? Now, you had a lovely run all the way, Kieran.
Yeah, he drew one. He let a couple go around him and just stopped in the box seat, so relaxed really well and got out when I needed to get out.
Second horse come at you.
Watches another Group 1 success on Desert Eagle for the Matthew Ellerton stable, 1890 and 580. A Mission second, 230. Our Scott Seamer must have sensed another Group 1 about 100 metres out when he was still in front on La Bella Dama, but they...
Emirates, but it was scratched.
That's right, Graham. I had a ride and was 3rd emergency, but lucky for me, Lee Friedman's horse, Super Impressive, didn't get a run, and Matthew Ellington called me up for his horse, so I was quite lucky.
All that happened in the very morning.
My horse was able to kick very well at the top of the straight.
Through the door.
Yeah. Well, you're starting to look the goods just about here, but here's a Mission's finishing first on the outside. And there's old La Zagaletta over on the fence, but Desert Eagle just prevailed to score.
Shadow, you spoke about the achievements of Kieran McAvoy in the past 12 months, or Tappy did. What about Cliff Brown? In the past 12 months, he's had 8 placings at group level without a win, and a Mission going so close for him yesterday. So luck has 2 sides of the coin, doesn't it?
Yeah, Keith admitted. And Primrose Sands 90. Now those under double figures, Hatharana 680, 380 Touch the Groom, 850 for Padfoot Charlie. $500,000 in the pool at the moment. Over the page we go. Big field here in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes.
The groom, as usual, is a bit slow to begin, but he settles out the back end with Farm Magic and Sail of Century. Primrose Sand, Steel Phoenix amongst the best two to begin. Third, Break the Bank. Fourth, Ascana. And then going up into fifth position is Hatha Anna, but it's on the outside of a Big Hustler, and on the inside was Daniel Court from Patfoot Charlie, and a length and a half away Sail of Century, about 12 off the lead. 800 to travel. Primrose Sand's a half a length to Steel Phoenix. Ascana's outside, Break the Bank, 2 lengths to Green Raider. Hatha Anna's travelling up nicely into the race from Daniel, Touch the Groom winding up, and then Tiger's Eye, Big Hustler just on it. Patfoot Charlie's got 10 lengths to make up, and then Farm Magic and Sail of Century hard ridden. Around the turn, 500 to go. Primrose Sand's the leader from Steel Phoenix. Ascana 3 out, Hatha Anna 4 out. Then came Daniel, Break the Bank, Big Hustler, Tiger's Eye, Touch the Groom. Into the straight, Ascana goes up the Primrose Sands. Wider out was Hatha Anna, then Daniel coming with a run nearer the inside. It's Ascana tackled by Hatha Anna, then Steel Phoenix. Tiger's Eye, Daniel, Green Raider was next. It's Ascana end on the outside, Hatha Anna. Hatha Anna puts its head in front of Ascana. Then Tiger's Eye, Hatha Anna in front, Ascana kicking back. Hatha Anna just in front of Ascana near the line, and Hatha Anna won it and beat Ascana in nearly a dead heat third. Between Tiger's Eye and Daniel, they're wide apart. Then Farm Magic, Patfoot Charlie, Touch the Groom, just on a Steel Phoenix, and then Big Hustler. Sail of Century next home from Green Raider, Primrose Sands, and tiring Break the Bank.
Oh, beautiful ride by Patrick Payne. Great training performance by Sayed bin Sior. And, you know, they've spent a lot of money bringing the horses out. Had a couple of plates.
Inside, and then Steel Phoenix, 150 to go, and Hatha Anna moved up on the outside, and going with it Ascana. Ascana's fighting back. Hatha Anna's got the nose in front. Ascana kicked, but Godolphin win in Australia for the first time. Hatha Anna beating Ascana. Photo finished third between Daniel and Tiger's Eye. Then Farm Magic and Patfoot Charlie wider out.
Blue colours of Sheikh Mohammed greeting the judge in Australia for the first time, as Greg said. Hatha Anna, Patrick Payne, beautiful ride, 640 and 240, Ascana 370, Tiger's Eye 310, 30.
The lesson that Godolphin will learn from that, if they have to learn any lessons from racing, is that we're better on our own patch than some of the big names from the Northern Hemisphere. Patrick Payne rode brilliantly. It was a terrific win, and it was a milestone win, and one that will inspire the Godolphin stable to even be more supportive of our racing. And the mention of Louise.
What Keith said is right. I think on our own patch, our jockeys ride very well and better than the European jockeys, and vice versa. Up there, if I took a horse to Europe, I'd put their jockeys on.